Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. We're going to be getting into various comic book news. There's some pretty interesting things actually to talk about. I have seen a little bit of a lull and stuff, but then again, everyone seems to be interested in other things, mainly political. Nevertheless, there are some fun things to talk about. And we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about comic strips a little bit today as well. But first thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hit that like button and share so we can get more people in here. But hey, Thunder, what's up today, dude?
Yo, hang on one second.
Okay, I'm hanging. That's why I go commando, by the way. No, no, no. Just gotta let that go, huh? All right. Anyway, please do share though, because it does help us let everybody know we're on, and they come on and join us. Of course, having fun conversations as we usually do. But nevertheless, hopefully you guys have had yourself a good Sunday yesterday. And of course, today being the beginning of the week, which isn't always necessarily the funnest part of the week, but I don't know. Are things really running the way they used to? I know that my week is Monday through Saturday, but I do live in Japan. However, when I was in the States, Saturday and Sunday was time off. It was barbecue time, hanging out with family or what have you, sport, what have you. Is that still the case? Is America still a Monday through Friday work and weekend off, or has things changed?
It's pretty much still the case. I mean, it's
Oh,
changed
good.
a little bit, but I'd say for most people, definitely, it's still the case.
Oh, that's good.
Sorry, I forgot to hook up my speakers or my headset.
Oh, well, it's
So
working now.
you were coming through my speakers.
Oh, well, I see that we've abandoned Will Smith quickly, and now we have cosplay Batman.
We have actual Batman from the new Batman movie, and apparently this was between takes, and he has total mom energy right there in that picture,
Hmm.
and I love it.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, no, I know. That was shade. You see. But anyway, yeah, no, a lot of people have seemed to enjoy it. I haven't watched it yet, so I will have to go check it out. I do know that shall not, be talking about Moon Knight ever, ever, ever in my presence, for I will draw blood. I swear to God.
Uh-oh, I didn't watch the newest episode. What'd they
Dude,
do?
oh, dude, that I'm done. I am done. I'm done. I mean, the first one I watched and I was like, maybe, right? I don't know, right? And the second
uh-huh.
one, I was furious. I was freaking furious. I was spitting. And the
Yeah.
third one, I really, I could have killed someone, dude. Because Moon Knight is my favorite character, right? Everyone here
Yeah.
knows that. And they just, oh, they cucked the shit out of him, dude. It sucks so bad.
Yeah. There's no agenda though, Chester. Remember,
Yeah,
there's no agenda. It's
they,
all just random chance that this keeps happening.
yeah. No,
Oh,
I
I did
know.
watch the Thor Love and Thunder trailer did
Oh,
drop today.
I'm going to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Holy shit, dude. I'm going to hold because,
Holy shit
yeah,
is right.
I'm going to hold for
Oh,
that
we'll
because,
go in. Oh, I'm going in. Don't worry.
because talk about completely forgetting how they even set the character up. But anyway, yeah, no, things are not going, great. But yeah, no, it is interesting because you do get the pushback against the agenda. But where is the altruistic scheme that is saying that it's not an agenda, right? You know what I mean? Because I don't see any altruism. Do you?
No, I
No,
don't.
no,
Mm-mm.
not at all.
In fact, I see a grave lack of it in even the people. Right? I want to use a comic book term. There's a spirit of vengeance right now,
That's a good one.
and everybody's ready to just the other guy over. Right? Just I don't care. I'll hurt him. I don't care. I'm over here. Me of all people, Chester.
Hmm.
I'm like, guys, listen. I'm in. If you're ready to go, let's go. But I want to make sure you're ready. I want to make sure you understand what you're unleashing when you open that door. And I think a lot of people don't realize what they're calling for, what they're trying to do,
Hmm.
and it's getting to the point now where it's time somebody's got to step up and stop it, or I think things get ugly.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I
and
think you're just getting a complete separation is what you got to get.
yeah,
But the good thing we have seen because people are not watching a lot of the streaming services. We've had a couple movies make some money, like we said with the Spider-Man one. That's a good family thing. Bring your kids to, and
yep.
good on them. But we're not seeing these huge pileups back into the theater. Therefore, we've asked this question a couple times here. What are people doing? Well, they must be out in nature doing something.
Somebody's
Driving,
doing
fishing,
something.
woodworking, whatever. But whatever they're doing, that's
Yep.
not a bad thing. That's a good
No,
thing.
it's not at all. I think I think we allowed the screens to take over too much of our life, and maybe they're looking at different screens. I honestly don't know, but here's what I do know: I know they're not having sex because we expected a big baby bump, right,
Yeah,
with COVID because
yeah,
everybody was home fucking. No,
yeah.
apparently
I
not.
I got the pun, by the way.
Uh oh.
Yeah. But no, so yeah, no, that is true. But that's a well, the COVID thing probably maybe made people more cautious about that, which I get. But no, that is another issue with the first world. I mean, that's the reason why these politicians are bringing all these immigrants in because the only solution they can think for cheap slave labor is just bringing third world lesser subhumans because that's how they treat them, right?
That's how they think. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how they behave. And my solution is how about we just make their countries better? How about that? How about
yeah,
why do
that'd
we
be
need to?
nice.
First of all, I don't think America needs more. I know there's people who would argue with that, but I really don't. I just think we need to treat our people better, and then we don't need to bring in a bunch of people from all over the place because one, we're kind of solving this problem with technology anyway, and two, a lot of the jobs that are going to be required to be done in a country like America, those people aren't qualified for. We could train them to do it kind of, but we wouldn't be able to get them where we need them. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
just
And
mechanized, dude. Just
yeah, and
mechanized.
that's what's going to happen anyway. America's going to mechanize fully, and then what? Now we got a whole bunch of people here who can't possibly work. I probably couldn't even get a job in some of these places with that kind of workforce. And then what? What's the solution then? What do we do with all these people?
I
Now we got
just
all
be
these people here. Now what do we do?
right now. I just become a gigolo.
I mean, you got. Hey, it's the oldest profession for a reason.
It is. It is.
It's
Yeah,
not
no,
going out.
it's a problem. And I personally have traveled to a lot of third world countries. And
Me too.
one thing I can tell you, I know they're dirty and they're not modern and they're struggling.
Yeah,
However, those people in those countries are a lot nicer than people I see in first world countries. They're
yeah,
actually pretty nice people, right?
yeah.
So if we like Thailand, an example, one of my favorite places on earth. What a fun, wonderful, just a really good community of people. They're really, really sweet people. But just imagine if they were all shiny and sparkly and modern. Ooh,
Mhm.
yeah, that'd be nice, man.
Would be.
Yeah,
And here's the thing: is we could do that.
we
We
could.
could we could make Thailand into a very modern country without even with just. I mean, look what we did to China. For Christ's sake, China didn't come up on their own. The West propped the shit out of China. Um, we could do that anywhere.
It's true.
Anywhere. That's
It's
what I
true.
advocate for. I advocate
Well,
for exporting our our I guess you would say our wealth, but it's not really our wealth. Exporting our just that the way we build
McDonald's.
what we would call commons and things. Because the world anybody can do it. It's nothing unique to America or
Hmm.
Europe or the West or Japan or Korea. It's not or China. It's nothing unique to these civilizations. It's just knowing what you're doing, knowing how to
Right.
do it.
Well, there is a caveat to what you said, though,
Mm,
because after World War II, America did rebuild the world, which I still don't recall getting a thank you for
yeah.
that. I mean, I don't know
Yep.
if you've heard one, but
No.
what
Well,
do you
I heard
do?
one from Poland. Poland thanked us
Well,
pretty
that's
heavily.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
they're pretty
nice.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah. But we rebuilt Japan. Look what happened to them. We rebuilt Korea. Look what's happening to them.
Yep.
Of course, they threw billions and billions and but who knows, maybe even trillions of dollars into China, and they certainly have popped right up. I mean, it's they have a very shallow foundation, but they need to work on that. They have a real problem there with the government. However, the caveat is the fact that we've done the same in Africa, and yeah, that hasn't taken, dude.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
know. I don't know. Africa's a quagmire of intellect, There's a
Yeah.
serious problem down there that I don't think we can solve, and I don't think it's our job to solve, to be honest with you. Um, but I do think Africa, as we see with like Nigeria and some other places, will eventually solve itself. It's just going to take longer.
I don't
But
know, dude.
I honestly don't think us meddling is going to fix it. I
Yeah,
think we're just going to make it worse.
I don't know. I've given you examples before. I'll give you another one. Rabbity sounds pretty normal to me, dude.
Do I sound funny?
But he says you sound loud. You sound normal to me.
Oh, here. Let me do this. Is
You
that
did
better?
do some changes. I don't know. We'll see what they say.
I
Uh,
just
but
pushed my mic farther away.
but I was watching Russian news.
Yeah.
Because I do try to balance my news and see what you got to find the truth in between, right? And
Somewhere.
the kind of shocking thing with Russian news is they actually talk about stuff that's going on all over the world. I'm shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were talking about Africa and the impact that was going on. Elrod says so loud too, so hopefully that did fix it. But I'll give you an example. I saw a video just this morning, and they were talking about the impact because, not only all the wheat and barley, but, half the world's sunflower oil comes out of Russia, and there's lots of stuff,
Yeah.
lots of resources. And of course, these second, third world countries are really getting hammered, right? And they
Hmm.
were talking about Kenya. Now, keep in mind, the most successful African nation throughout history is always the Kush, right? Which we call Ethiopia today.
Yeah.
The Nubians get mentioned a lot. Ooh, Nubia, cool, cool, cool. And the Nubians were mainly the military branch of the Comitian Empire, the Egyptians, right? So
Hmm.
yeah, fair enough. But they really were absorbed into Egypt, where the Kush was always a separate thing. Some people might want to mention. I'll use the more common term, the Zulu. But the Zulu were just a parasite, savage wave of ants that came from the northeast and just murdered everything on their way down to the ocean, basically. They don't get any credit. And that's about it. There were a couple little places that had found gold and things like that. But in general, this video I was watching, there were a bunch of Africans. They were in a field and they were haphazardly knocking over wheat and then picking it up by strand, stalk by stalk, thrashing it with flails, and it was the most primitive damn thing I ever seen in my life, dude. I mean, it's not okay. You don't have heavy equipment like we do in the West, but you could at least have Middle Ages technology. For God's
Yeah.
sake, dude, it's like goddamn caveman activity going on down there, and it's
Yeah.
all over the place. And we have put billions of dollars into Africa, dude. What the
Oh, I'd say probably
fuck,
trillions. Let's
man?
be honest. When you
I
when you add up private investment and you add up, actual just straight up the government of America specifically, not even just other Western countries, but just specifically America, it's got to be trillions by now. It has to be. Um, and yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a total quagmire
yeah.
in the worst sense of the word. And I honestly don't see any way to fix it. And like I said, I don't think it's our job to fix it. I
No,
think it's our
no,
job to leave Africa alone.
I agree. I think we should, but the Chinese won't
Yeah.
leave them alone. But I agree with that. I think just let them
I
do
bet
their
the
thing.
Chinese will eventually abandon them too. I honestly do. I think
Right.
they're going to get what they came to get mostly, and then they're just going to, because everybody's tried to colonize them for thousands of years. Been trying to colonize Africa and differing parts of it, and it just never takes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it won't. I mean, because in all honesty, I think what you're going to see coming in the future there. This is my prediction for Africa. I think in the East, up around the Horn of Africa, you will see a confederacy that will probably get successful.
Yeah,
I think you'll see that. Cape Town down in the south will always exist. It's a very cosmopolitan place, but it's also a place for ships that are going around and all this stuff. It's kind of an important port. So Cape Town will survive. South Africa will not survive. It's basically imploded already, right?
yeah.
And the whole center of Africa going all the way up, it's just an absolute cluster, dude. It's just ridiculous. The Ivory Coast and stuff like that, man, it's a crapshoot. What happens
Well,
with
the
them?
worst part is you have, like you were saying, you have politicians here now telling us we have to bring people from there here, and I'm like,
No,
no, we don't.
no, we don't.
Why would we do that?
We do not. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
we don't need to do any of that. But There's a lot of in the anthropological world. There's a lot of talk about the future progression. It's kind of how anthropologists have fun
Yeah.
predicting the future, right? It's a
Right.
statistics game, and a lot of them are really leaning toward Turkey becoming this mega power, and the Arabic them unifying into the caliphate again. Like the old
Yeah.
Ottoman Empire, and their
Mhm.
power reaching down into Africa and taking the the Saharan aspect of Africa completely
Again. Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
which maybe that could be possible. But I do think they tend not to look at the fact that, well, Turkey is bankrupt, completely bankrupt. They're in
That's a problem.
political
Yeah.
turmoil. Morocco, which would be a big part of that, right, is
Right.
complete, absolute nightmare. The problems they're having down there. They're basically on the edge of starvation all the time, and with this
Mhm.
situation, the war in Ukraine, they are into the starvation for sure. But I know the next 100 years or so should be interesting. We won't see it, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Nevertheless, that doesn't have anything to do with comic books, though.
No, it doesn't, Chester. Jeez, you got
No,
way off in the weeds
I
there.
did.
I had nothing to do with it.
I
I
know.
disavow it.
I disavow it. So anyway, let's get into it. You ready?
I sure am.
All righty. For Elrod starts yelling at us. God, he's so mean, dude.
He is mean. He's a mean guy.
He's a
And I'm
meanie.
sensitive, Chester. You know
I
that.
know. I know. I try to
Very
protect you the
sensitive.
best I can. Okay. Uh,
Heathcliff. You gotta
yeah,
love Heathcliff.
you
You
do.
got to.
You do.
It's a rule. In fact, if you don't, get the fuck out.
That's true. Well, today I wanted to, instead of talking about a specific comic book character, I want to continue on. Last week I talked about Prince Valiant specifically, right? But I really wanted to get into talking about comic strips in general. Now, comic strips have been going on a very, very long time. They were part of what evolved into the comic book, of course. The Penny Dreadful or the Dime Store novel, those kind of things like that definitely were part of it. Well, I guess they weren't dime store at that time, but you know what I mean. But one of the things when I was a kid, and I don't know if you had the same experience or not, but when I was a kid, the newspaper usually was around. I don't know how many. I think they only got it on Sunday, to be honest with you. I think in my household it was just Sunday. But the Sunday newspaper would come out, and of course the only thing I cared about was the comic section in the back, which is usually what 2 to 4 pages or something like that, and that was my thing I wanted to read. That's the only thing I cared, and I really enjoyed every week waiting to see what the new Marmaduke or the new Peanuts or what have you, or Prince Valiant was going to be. So I grew up reading newspaper comic strips quite religiously, actually. Now I don't know if the youngins do that anymore, and I'll get into what maybe the youngins are doing now anyway. But um, it's something I grew up with. Now, when you were a kid, did you read the newspaper funnies, or did you not?
If I did, it wasn't like anything consistent. We didn't really get the paper where I lived very much, just because we were out in the country. So it just wasn't a thing we did.
I see.
So if I did, it was usually if I was in town or something, or I was at a like my uncle's or my grandpa's, because they got it all the time. Um, but yeah, I didn't. It wasn't anything consistent. I did read some Heathcliff back in the day. I
Hmm.
couldn't tell you anything about it, I'm sure, but I remember it. Like I remember looking at it, um, and some of the other comics and stuff in the comic strips.
Right.
But I don't.
Well,
The memory I have of them is so it's like shapes basically.
right.
Like I recognize that shape.
Well, because you were a kid, right?
Yeah,
And Heathcliff, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. Heathcliff is older than Garfield. Rabbit is this a ripoff of
I
Garfield? I think
think
it's the
so. I
opposite
think
way.
so.
But honestly, the big difference between Heathcliff and Garfield is the fact that Garfield is interacting with his human, John,
Yeah.
right? So it's really about a pet owner and the absolute ridiculous nature of his pet, his lasagna loving pet. Now, to be fair, Garfield has had way, way more success than Heathcliff. way more.
Yeah.
But when I was young, although I enjoyed the animated movies and stuff like that, and the TV show and stuff, I actually liked Heathcliff more when I was kids because Heathcliff is more about what Heathcliff is doing. It's
Mm.
not about his involvement or interaction with his owner. It's about him, right? And I always thought it was pretty funny. And he's, as you can see, quite troublesome for the neighborhood dog and other things. But those are two cat ones that are very comparable. Comic strips are like comics, but for smart people. Everyone says, "Oh God, he's spicy today." But of course, Heathcliff and Garfield very popular. Another one, of course, maybe the biggest one of all time, Peanuts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course,
Um,
everybody knows Charlie Brown. Everybody knows Charlie Brown.
sure. Over here, they don't really know what Peanuts is. They just call it Snoopy.
Well, they
Yeah,
probably think you're talking about food. Peanuts? Yeah, you got some peanuts? I'll eat some
yeah,
peanuts.
they don't get it
Yeah.
because the only character they know about is Snoopy and Woodstock. Those are the characters. They don't know anything
I
about
mean, that's the
Charlie.
most important character is Snoopy, let's be honest.
Yeah, fair
He's
enough.
he's Snoopy. He's awesome.
I always preferred Schroeder anyway. He was my favorite.
This guy with his contrarianism,
Come
his
on now.
anti-Snoopyism. Listen to him.
I like Snoopy, but I mean, Schroeder was always, yeah, I loved it. I'm a musician, I guess, but I really always liked it. Um, yeah, how Alan said Garfield equals Elvis, Heathcliff equals Johnny Cash. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. But Peanuts, of course, was it is the most well-known and most epic comic strip of all time, of course. And this had been incredibly successful as an IP. Another one here, which I never read, but it was very, very popular, was Dilbert. Do you ever
Oh, yeah,
read
he's
you
been
some Dilbert?
millions. I've read it tangentially, like, I've never intended to read it, it's just kinda been there, because it's just one of those it's like Garfield, right? It's just there. There was
Yeah.
no getting away from it, it was everywhere for a while. He's made all kinds of money off of this, Scott Adams
hmm
has. Yeah, Dilbert's been incredibly successful, and it can be pretty witty. I mean, Scott's kind of an insufferable douche, but he can write a pretty funny comic strip, so maybe that's par for the course, I don't know. Maybe that's a requirement.
Let's see. GOP has or Oop Horror, sorry, has made a comment here. Heathcliff is cool. Garfield is gay. Fair enough. All right. Okay. As you like.
I mean,
Uh,
he might be. He
he
is
might
he
be.
has some
Yeah.
interesting proclivities.
Yeah, he does. That's true. He is quite lazy. But nevertheless, I did prefer Heathcliff as far as the comic strip goes. Although, like I said, Garfield was far more successful. I never read this Dilbert, but it was popular and it went for a long time. And you are right. Scott Adams made lots of money.
Lots of
Another one here. This is an old one that was around, and of course, Looney
Mhm.
Tunes picked this up. Is Broomhilda. And even when I was young, there were still Broomhilda sometimes
Yeah,
because there I don't know if it was the last page or there was a section of the comic strip aspect of the newspaper that changed fairly regularly. I guess there was the trying out area, and the other things were eternal. They never changed, like say Peanuts. But I have actually read a Broomhilda comic strip in the newspaper, so it is a thing. I know most people it's a Looney Tune thing for them, right?
right.
Yeah, but yeah, she's a weirdo, and that's the point. But another one here was which I always loved was the Wizard of Id. You ever read this one?
I have.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm trying to remember, was this a newspaper thing or was this a Dragon magazine thing? I think it was
Um,
newspaper.
I think it was newspaper. I think. These are all most well, not all, but mostly before my time, Chester. So you're
I know.
asking me some questions. I think it was newspaper, and then it turned into other mediums.
Let's see. Nighthawk says today is April 18th, Chester, or April. So, oh, fine. Go ahead and judge me then. Yeah, go ahead.
How did you get that so wrong?
I don't know. I lost a week because I went somewhere, probably.
Apparently.
Fine. Fine. I will fix it. God. Let's
Joined.
see here. Where is it? Oh yeah, right there. So let me. Okay. So now he's got to be all happy. It's fixed. Okay?
Fixed it. All
Okay?
fixed it.
It's all fixed.
Gosh.
I know, dude. They're so demanding.
Sensitive guys over here.
I
You're so
know.
mean.
But anyway, now I have to go back and
Well,
set all this up
I actually
again.
did
All
make
right, here we
myself
go.
cry a little bit there. Holy shit, I didn't know I could still do that.
Yeah. It was in the paper. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I remember reading it. I thought it was funny. Of course, we got another one here, a classic that lasted. Oh my God, the decades this thing lasted, dude. Blondie. Now, a lot of people probably know this as Dagwood. It's not Dagwood. It's actually Blondie. That the Dagwood character you see here, the guy, the father going to shave and stuff. He's
Yeah.
the most important character in it, and his sandwich is in the middle of the night. But I've
Candy.
read a lot of Blondie.
Mm. You know what I miss about losing weight the most, Chester? Oddly,
Yeah.
it's the most disgusting thing ever, but I miss bologna. I fucking love bologna, and I miss it. I'm like, I can't eat bologna. It's too many calories. I can't have bologna sandwich. But
Well,
bologna, a little mustard, a little mayo, a little pickle on there, a little spinach.
yeah. Well, he
Mm.
would put peanut butter, jelly, bananas, oranges, whatever he could find. He would just pile up that sandwich. Literally 5 foot high. Yeah, Blondie was a good one. Nighthawk says, "Wow, hope all is well, Chester. Have fun with the stream. Where is the rules to Pakistan? Gary's getting Pakistan land issue number one. Yeah, Nighthawk, you've asked this several times. That's all on Gary, dude. It's all on Gary. But anyway, um, that's good, and congratulations to him. I'm happy with his Titan Mouse as well, Nighthawk. Anyway, let's continue on. This is a really good one, Blondie here. Of course, another classic that was around for a very long time. Now, I didn't put Dennis the Menace in here.
Marmaduke
I chose Marmaduke instead.
is a
Did
good
you ever
name.
read
Marmaduke.
Marmaduke?
I have again tangentially, but yes. Uh, Marmaduke. It's just a good name. I like that name for that. Just when you hear it, for me, I immediately know what it is. Right?
Mm.
It's kind of one of those things. And yeah, I like old Marmaduke. How can you not like Marmaduke? He's a good time.
He is, man. Marmaduke is cool, and it's there was some other dog stuff. What was the one that was kind of more of a kid's book? But I did see the comic strip version of it. What was that big red dog's name?
Um, Clifford. Talk about Clifford, the big red dog.
Clifford. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
good old Clifford. They made a movie about Clifford.
Good. I don't know if
Clifford the
it.
big red.
I don't know if it
It
was any
wasn't good.
good.
It wasn't a good movie, but they did make it.
Right. Yeah. That's too bad. Because that could easily be a fun kids movie. Why not?
Yeah.
Marmaduke, just so you know, the King of Hearts is what that means, or the Duke of Hearts, leader of Hearts. Marma being heart, or
Duke of Hearts.
yeah,
That's good.
that's what it means. Of course, we also have this one from Mad
Now
Magazine.
that was my jam. Spy
Yeah,
versus Spy. I love Spy versus Spy.
yeah,
I like the little cartoons they had. I like the game they had. They had a video. Remember the video? Do you remember the video game? They had a video game.
yeah.
I played the shit out of that video game. It was one of the games you could play against other people back in the day, and you could like set up traps and stuff and go at each other. I loved it. I love me some Spy versus Spy.
Oh, Howell put a comic strip up in the draw long that he did a long time ago. Let me see if I can show that off here. Hold on a second. That would be over here, and that would be in the here.
Place into that
Oh
place.
wow, that's cool. Let's open that. This is
Oh,
from
that is cool.
Alan, the Howell Comics.
That is cool. Look at that.
Yeah, it's very comic
How did
strippy,
we
dude.
find all these talented people around us, Chet? How did
Uh,
we do that?
I don't
Because
know.
we are
They
some
got lucky.
hacks, the two
We
of
are.
us.
That's
And
true.
these people just like hanging around. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, but I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I will too. I agree 100%. We're really lucky. Alan is perfect for this stuff, though. I mean, he can do all kind of stuff, but he's perfect for this. So let's take a look at it. The Adventures of Hawk Dude. All right, by Alan Alonso. So, Wonder Babe, haven't seen you since World War II. How's tits? Or I mean things. Oh, you must have me confused with my Nana, the original Wonder Babe. please call me by my civilian name, Saggy Booberson. Hawk Dude and I go way back. I gave him so many rusty trombones during the war. He started calling him the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. Oh, and I can still hold a note, handsome. Well, she does play a mean trombone. Fair enough. Naughty. Naughty.
Very naughty.
Very naughty.
Naughty.
But anyway, let's go back over here. Where was I here? Marmaduke, Spy versus Spy, and of course, maybe Peanuts is certainly the eternal, right? But Calvin and Hobbes was a mega hit. It was so big a hit that my father actually owned a compilation of Calvin and Hobbes, and it was a big old giant coffee table book. And this is way, way back in the '80s, right? And or was it? Yeah, '80s or early '90s. But one thing I was really been surprised about is we've never seen a animated adaptation of Calvin and Hobbes.
There's probably a very legal reason for that because I can't imagine they haven't tried.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I would
you would
assume
think so.
whoever owns the rights to it is just like, nah, no, thank you, not interested.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but maybe they're just like, I don't like Hollywood. Screw 'em.
Maybe it could be that simple, and it's very funny. It's a really well done comic strip, and good on them. If you never read Calvin and Hobbes, go do that. I don't know why you haven't. I mean, honestly, basically for me, Calvin and Hobbes is a modern interpretation of Christopher Robin's. Is really what it
Mm.
is. It's a
Yeah.
of course it's a more modern look at the because Christopher Robins is really turn of the 20th century type of character, and of course his imaginary toys, Winnie the Pooh and the other
Right.
ones. But Calvin Hobbes, of course, there is no Hobbes in here, but Hobbes is his imaginary tiger, uh, stuffed animal. But yeah, Calvin Hobbes, pretty badass. Anyway, uh, Calvin Hobbes is Mount Rushmore status. Yeah, it is because it's good though. It earned it, right? Because the competition in the newspapers was really stiff, dude. I mean, there were dozens of strips that you could read every week, and it just prevailed as it should. But the question I asked in the beginning of the Thundero is, because we don't really have newspapers anymore. Everyone's got this whole online thing, and fair enough, modernization is the way culture goes. But because we don't have newspapers anymore, where are the comic strips now? Where have they gone? Because comic books certainly evolved out of stuff like this, but comic books are their own thing. They're a standalone thing
Right.
that you go and it's a hobby, et cetera, et cetera. So, but where are the comic strips today? And I don't know. I've made a guess and you guys can yell at me and tell me I'm wrong.
I
But
like the internet.
I kind of thought it was in the webtoon.
I would say probably, yeah. I mean, because yeah, there's still a lot of printing going on, but it's a different world now. Um, I'd say that's probably accurate. That's what I would say is
Yeah,
if you're looking
I
for
I
something
agree.
akin,
the
yeah,
rabbit
would be
agrees. Yeah,
webtoon.
well,
So
because
there's a lot of animes come out of webtoons in the last year or two as well. A lot of
Yeah,
stuff's come out of webtoons. A lot of really
yeah,
good stuff.
well, I mean, we know that in America the comics aren't selling very well. But webtoons, there's millions and millions of people look at these things. Look at the ones right here. I mean, what is that? This is 36.7 million likes on this one.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
insane.
these are. I mean, Marvel would be beyond them, beside themselves to have these kind of numbers.
They might
Um,
actually hurt somebody for that kind of numbers.
they
Holy
might,
crap!
right?
We
Uh,
have people that we do art with that have gone on webtoons, and Andrews is on webtoons, I think, as well.
yeah, no, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, webtoons is a very very good place for comics. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you can find them on social media too. There's people like uh that make typically political ones, but you can find ones that are non-political. I would say
I'm
you could
sure.
even make that memes are the modern day comic strip. Like some memes tell a whole story. Like they have multiple panels and things.
Hey, you're
Uh,
not wrong.
yeah, you could make a case for that. It just evolved into a totally different medium entirely.
Right.
because that's kind of what it was back in the day, right? It was obviously they were just being goofy, but sometimes they weren't. Sometimes they were doing much more poignant things. And I think that's probably where a lot of that energy went. It kind of like, because back in the day you had specific artists and things, and they'd get names and they'd make a bunch of money. That can still happen, I guess, today, but it's much more difficult because the market's so much broader.
Hmm.
So you also have a lot of people, like I said, making memes and making just simple free stuff that they throw up there because they find it fun,
Yeah.
so that they can get social media engagement, and then they can leverage that into ads or whatever, and or just straight up art sales or whatever. So I'd say that's probably where a lot of the energy is. Obviously, it's on
Yeah,
webtoons too. If they
memes. I
have
agree with you and Alan. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
37 million damn likes. Holy shit. That's a lot of people.
It is.
That's more likes than anything on YouTube, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
well, no, I've seen PewDiePie get more, but and a couple other places,
37
but
mil? Are you sure?
Does he
yeah,
count?
yeah, I have. Especially when he did that, when he did the, what was it called? Resident Evil, The Village, when he was doing that run through.
Mm.
Oh my God, dude. But anyway, one thing I have actually paid a little bit of attention to this one. I know there's other sites, but this is the one that Google recommends. So that tends to be either bought or earned. Either
No, it's
way.
the big one. It's the big one,
Yeah.
definitely.
But I have looked through here, and you know what I've seen, Rabbit, that I think is interesting
Mhm.
because Thundero had mentioned in the beginning. In American comics, we see a lot of politics insinuating themselves into the comic books. However,
Mm.
here you'll find stuff that isn't my shtick. It's not. I'm not all about the weird stuff. However, it seems to be coming from a place of love and true desire of creativity. So
I think it's because a lot of individual
yeah,
artists do their own stories and
yeah,
just post what they want. Or so it's like what I'd like to. So if I did one, I'd be like, well, I want to see this, so I'll do it, and that's what they're doing. Yeah,
yeah,
they're not like got writers or artists. They're just it's their
their thing.
I suppose their soul on paper,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah, and therefore you can certainly find LGBTQ and all kind of those the political attack hounds we see on the other side. But here
Well, the
it's
wankers, yeah.
yeah, the wankers. But here it's just something coming out from them. It's a creation of theirs. It's not as political, oddly.
No, it's good. They do competitions as well. There's a lot of. It's a very good place to go if you're interested in doing stuff. Very good.
Yeah,
It's a good place to start off, or even if you're not starting off. It's. I think didn't the Hal release something somewhere?
yeah,
He's in the chat. Hal,
yeah,
you released something somewhere digitally, didn't you? Where?
yeah.
I'm obviously he'll reply.
Is Dillard's Buckler a webtoon? I do believe he was doing that. I mean, it's smart.
He,
Why
I
wouldn't you?
know he's releasing it as a book. I know the books are coming out, but I think he did. Did he? I don't know. I haven't talked to him for a while.
I think his from the stuff because I have spent a little time here and looked around. I think Dillard's comedic style and his ridiculous level of art ability, he could make a killing here. His would
But
fit perfectly in here.
I kind of want to bash Elrod for saying too much anime trash, but he's wrong. There's not enough anime trash.
Well, no, Elrod is just contrary. You have to understand the role with
I
Elrod.
know, I know, I
Oh,
know. I love
yeah.
Elrod for his hot
Oh,
takes, as it were.
Alan says it's on Amazon. Yeah, no,
Uh,
I think the webtoons are a thing of the future, and like I said, you can find about anything you want. So that's cool. Anyway, comic strips. I know there are literally hundreds I didn't mention. I
oh, I
understand that.
grew up with one. And if you ever heard of Hagar the Horrible?
Oh, I love Hagar the Holler. Horrible. Yeah,
Yeah, that was one I grew up with as a kid in the
yeah.
papers. It was awesome.
Let's take a look at that one. That I enjoyed that one myself.
That was a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah. Now I never saw it in the comic strips myself. Here, of course, is Hagar, or Hagar, I guess would probably be the better pronunciation. But another one that I really enjoyed, although I guess that would be more of a comic book, would be oh God, what's that French one with the Gallic warrior?
Asterix.
Asterix. Yeah, yeah, Asterix. Thank you.
Oh, Eric says Zombie Falls on Webtoon.
Oh, nice, Eric. Yeah, I think it's a
That's
good
cool.
way to go, guys. And I don't know if Dillard is doing that or not, Roger, but he should be, because his is actually quite. I mean, not all things translate to that medium as well, but his comedic. Yeah, I think Dillard's would kill over there. But yeah, Hagar was great. Would you like to make a mention there, Thundero?
About what? Oh, about this?
Yeah, which strip would you
Yeah.
like me to check out?
Let's see. What do we got here? I don't have one off the top of my head, to be honest with you. Trying to think of one.
I know there's
Yeah,
a European
I'm
one that
drawing
I saw
I'm drawing a
sometimes.
blank. Check that out. Ah, yeah, good. That's a good one, Tintin.
Yeah. Now,
I like the
Tintin was
Tintin.
mainly a series of graphic novels, but I did see Tintin in the newspaper sometimes. Oh, I know. I'm being an idiot. One a very old and famous one that was always done in a different way too. Was always in a circle.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, the Family
Yes, yes,
Circus.
yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
it was always done in these circles. It was different. Yeah, it was definitely different. But this family here, the Family Circus, which was, I read it when I was a kid. I probably didn't appreciate it as much as my parents would have, I would assume. But yeah, the Far Side. Far Side. Now, was Far Side in the newspaper though? Hmm. I don't even.
Not
I'm not sure that. But Far Side was great though. I don't remember if it was in the actual newspaper though.
I've never seen that. Is that what it is? No, I've not seen that before.
Farside is funny, dude. Gary Larson. It went on for a very
I mean,
long
yeah, I never
time.
came there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was. But yeah, Far Side, Family Circus. Yeah, that's a good point, Dave. But those were always cute as well. But there's so many. I mean, there's so many. And I think today, with our, because we talk about comic books over here, we're of course part of the indie scene, and we are very happy to be so. But I think we forget a little bit about those old origins. Those comic strips. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of take a look back because it's a very different animal, right? Creating a strip that is kind of restricted to what 6 panels at most, 8 maybe if you're pushing it, which is a single page in a comic book, so they're basically one page
Hmm.
comics, right? And that's a completely different animal than creating a 25 or 50 or 100 page comic book, right?
Yes.
Elrod says it was syndicated in the thousands of newspapers. Yeah, I know I grew up seeing it. I just didn't. I don't know why my brain seemed to be saying I saw it somewhere else. I think because I own books. But anyway, let's move on from that. But yeah, that's fun. I like every week talking about something that is comic related. So let's get into it. Go ahead.
Black Panther
No.
actor Winston Duke becomes the new voice of Bruce Wayne in audio drama Batman Unburied. Wayne gets a new profession. Oh
Okay.
boy.
No.
Okay.
Actually, it's interesting. It is pretty interesting.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
yeah, no. Now you guys remember who was there was there's been several black dudes who had great voices for animated. One of them was playing Goliath in the Gargoyle one.
Hmm.
What I can't remember his name. Is he the one who did Worf as well on Next Generation?
Dwarf. Oh, from Star Trek.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember.
No,
Anyway,
Miss Keith David.
Keith Dave. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. But so we've had dudes doing that before, and of course, in animated in voice acting, it doesn't really matter what you look like, does it? Not even a
No, I
little bit.
agree. Yeah, because
Yeah,
the last time one was Jason Ackles, wasn't it, from Supernatural? He did
yeah,
Batman in
yeah.
the last one. That was really good.
Sure.
It
And I do like this guy's voice, but here's what they're doing with this. This is kind of interesting, and I'm curious what you guys think. I do like this guy's voice. I thought he was great. One of the fun parts of Black Panther, because Black Panther was pretty kind of boring, dude. But he was fun.
yeah.
But he was
Sorry,
fun though. I did like him. He played the
which
White
one was
Ape, right?
sorry.
He was
Oh,
the king of
is
the other tribe.
oh yeah, he was good.
Yep.
Yeah, he was good. I liked him. Yeah.
But what they're doing with this is going to be on like Spotify. And Bruce Wayne has
What?
got himself He's got himself into a job as like a night DJ or something like that, because he's trying to gather information, right? But
Oh,
what this is a radio drama on
I like
Spotify.
the idea.
Yeah, it's a podcast, but it's a radio drama. And I'm sure they'll have some still animation to go along with it, but I think it's kind of neat that they bring it back a radio drama, dude. I think,
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah,
That's old school, proper. That's like 60s style stuff.
or 20s even.
Yeah, well,
Um,
yeah, I suppose, yeah.
yeah, but I thought it was really cool, and the whole thing is following after the harvester who basically steals organs. So it's going to be dark and gritty and noir like it should be. And So he is after the serial murderer is doing this. What are they saying? Because Batman has taken up another nighttime job to kind of gather information. What was he doing? I think it's like a radio DJ or something like that. I know it's in here somewhere, but anyway, you can go read the article. But what I just thought it was cool was it's a radio show coming out on Spotify. What do you think about that, Thunder?
I like it. We video killed the radio stars, the song slash saying, right?
Mm,
But it doesn't have to. In Britain, they still run audio versions of like Doctor Who, like audio stories. They've been doing
sure.
it for a long
Yeah,
time. It's called
Yeah.
Big Finish. And I'm sure there's other things they do as well. I can't imagine that's the only one.
Sure.
So I don't
well,
see
I
any
mean, people
reason
love
why.
audiobooks, don't they?
Yeah, I don't see any reason why you can't do that stuff today. And in fact, it's actually very. It can be really enthralling. So when I was growing up, for a part of my life anyway, my parents were devout Christians, and they would listen to Christian radio. And on Christian radio, they would play audio dramas, like radio dramas,
Yeah.
and some of them are really freaking good.
Yeah.
Like they
Oh,
were
yeah.
enthralling.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't see any reason why you can't do that nowadays. Why not?
Yeah,
Why
why
not?
not? Yeah. I do listen to some ham radio shows every now and then. It's been a while, but I certainly have done that before, and they are fun. And it just, of course, they're calling it a podcast and not calling it a radio show. But then again, what we're doing right here, right now, is radio. This is radio, right? And I just thought it was cool, and I do like this guy's voice. He could be a cool Batman dude.
Yeah, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Um, I don't see any reason why he couldn't. I did like. Was he the guy in Black Panther? Did he play the big?
he played the White Ape.
Yeah, the white ape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mind him at all. I advocated that if they were going to make anybody, but if it's not going to be Killmonger, it should have been him because
Well,
he
no,
was the
he
most
should be the new
striking
king. That's the
character.
obvious choice. I don't know what
Yeah,
they're doing.
he
Yeah.
was by far
They
the
are
most
doing
striking
one though, right?
character. No, they
Yeah,
are.
they say so.
Yeah,
It's
they
been
are.
pushed back. I think they're having the comic book industry is in absolute turmoil right now.
I
Because
mean, they should cancel it. To be fair, the last movie was so bad.
it
So,
was pretty bad.
Well, it made $1 billion though, so that's what matters. It doesn't matter how
but
shitty it is.
it
And to be
bad.
fair, for the people who enjoyed it, good for them, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
enjoyed the
true,
first
true. I mean,
two-thirds of it. It was that last third that was just a nightmare, which is a problem
that
a
was
lot
the
of Marvel
same with the
movies have.
last Marvel movie, though, wasn't it? The what's it, Infinite War or whatever, the
No,
last
Endgame.
Avengers
Yeah,
movie.
Endgame was pretty.
Yeah, I
decent.
mean, it's like Endgame. It's like it's all right, it's all right. It was a bit because the one in between was really good, and then the last one was like,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
they just need better writers. They just need to fire everybody and get better writers.
Well, they need to get their head out their ass is what they need to do.
Well, that too, yeah.
So-
Stop doing the
I
woke
know
shit as well.
Grimlock thinks they should just recast it, and I actually also agree with that. I wouldn't be offended by it.
Yeah,
but they're not gonna.
Well,
Yes,
all of it, or just Black Panther?
why not take M'Baku and make him the new Black Panther? I think that would be a great idea, Grimlock.
Oh yeah.
No, because it's completely unnecessary. Just recast the damn role.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
Look,
though.
I understand Chadwick. I understand Chadwick died, but everybody was acting like that he had been on that role for like 30 years.
No,
He only
yeah.
had like 3
In
appearances.
just one movie. Yeah, that's true.
He had 1 movie and 3 overall appearances. As
I
I said
see.
before, if you can replace Sean Connery as Bond, you can replace Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa. It's not moving. We're not talking about moving a planet. It's a recasting.
Yeah, no,
Give a
I
young
understand
dude
Yeah.
an opportunity of a lifetime because
right.
Hell, it ain't like Hollywood's overflowing with good lead black actors. Here's an opportunity to give one a shot.
No,
They got like
I
4 of
think
them.
it's fair.
Just
Only
Oh,
recast
one
yeah,
of
the
them.
you're,
goddamn
you're
Rumble.
right.
Well, so
Shit.
you would rather keep Winston as M'Baku then, is what's your point, and bring in a
Yes,
new person?
everything's in place. Look, and to be honest, he didn't show right. He didn't show up right away, and then he didn't show up in Endgame. So what?
Well,
Yeah.
there
Guess
was a
what? You can
scene
do.
where he was there. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a scene. So,
yeah.
but he didn't show up right away. So you can. Since the movie's already been pushed back, and from the sounds of it, seems like it's kind of in production hell. Just recast the damn role. Have it built like you could have it like 2 stories where the Wakandans are wondering where their king has disappeared to. You can show where their king was.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
difficult.
No, it's not.
He's not wrong.
And Chadwick isn't really the greatest actor anyway. He's rather boring.
What they need
Um,
is the new Wesley Snipes. That's what we need to
Oh my
find.
God, yeah, they do.
I like Chadwick, but I wouldn't consider. I'll be honest, considering the other roles that he had prior to that, like I get it, but
He's much better in drama, dude.
between Black Panther 42 and get on up. I mean, I'm sorry, Black Panther's a third to those two. The man
He's
played
not an
Jackie
action
Robinson
star, is
and
he?
James Brown.
Yeah, he's
You're,
much
you're,
better in
you're,
drama. That's true. You know.
Yeah, he's not an action star. Definitely not.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, I thought this was kind of neat. I'm going to check it out. I think because I just like the throwback idea, man. And this guy does have
I
a good
agree.
voice for it. He could be a good Bruce Wayne. Because the whole thing is not really Batman. It's Bruce Wayne. He's doing some. Like I said, I think he's like a radio DJ or something. He's trying to gather information on this new
Oh, so
serial
it's a
killer.
detective story.
It's a detective story. Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah,
we'll
that sounds
see.
awesome.
I think it's cool. Anyway, moving on. Oh my God.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Let's have a look what we
New
do.
Thor Love and Thunder
I can hear
trailer.
Thundaro's blood pressure
Oh,
rising
don't
from
even
here.
know. You don't even know. New Thor Love and Thunder trailer reveals Taika Waititi will continue one of Avengers Endgame's biggest mistakes. Yes, Trent, you are correct. And he is
Oh,
going
so
to
he's
add
fucking
more.
over Thor even more. Is that what's going on?
He's going to add even more mistakes
Yeah.
because fuck you, fans of Thor. You don't get to see Thor be Thor ever. Ever.
I'm
Ever.
not a fan of Thor, but I love the
7
guy and
movies
how
in
he
and he
played
still
it.
isn't fucking Thor. I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah.
Just kill the goddamn character off already.
Well,
Fuck.
yeah. No, I
I
understand
love
your
it.
frustration. If you've seen the trailer, you'll understand it. It's really bad.
I'm gonna have a look for it right
Yeah,
now.
go
just
look
so
at
I
it right
can
now,
do
dude.
I
it.
Yeah,
tried
it's really bad.
watching. I tried watching the trailer earlier today. I couldn't get through the whole damn thing. First of all, why are they still running the '80s graphics on that? I don't fucking get it. It's
Nostalgia, you see, for the 80s millennials,
Yeah, because he's
the
supposed
ones
to be
born
a
in the 80s.
80s hippie rocker is what he is. Yeah. But no, it's dumb. And it's once again another not good Thor movie. We've had a lot of Thor movies and they haven't been great, and it frustrates me. So it must really frustrate Thundero. But basically, what we're getting here, it's not just a mistake; it's many. We have Fat Thor getting in shape to become Hippie Thor. He's not going to
Yeah.
fight anymore. He's putting down the hammer. And then of course,
Why Guns N' Roses? Sorry.
yeah, I know, right?
I should mute myself.
But then of course you also have not Queen Valkyrie, King Valkyrie, of course,
Yeah.
which is
course.
another big mistake because I'm not going to go through the mistakes.
I
You all
know.
know what they are. I'm going to put this down right here very simply, and you can read this article if you like. But this is the issue. If you go back and you remember the very first Thor movie, which wasn't a great movie, but if you remember it back,
terrible.
it was, but it had Anthony Hopkins in it, kicking ass for about 2 minutes. And in that, he dressed down Thor quite
Literally.
completely. And
Literally.
he was
Ripped
right
the
to.
clothes off of him and shit.
He did.
But
And the whole
I'm
point
with
of it.
Thundero on this. Sorry. I have to.
I'm just saying the whole point
So
of
carry
it
on, Karen.
was for Thor to learn to become a man, and by the end of it, Odin himself even said, "You will make a wise king." The whole point of the arc of Thor was for him to to grow up
Thing.
and become a king. That's the whole
Yes.
fucking point. But no,
Yeah.
he doesn't. He shirks his responsibilities. He cries about mommy. He gives over his entire people, who he should be
Birthright,
working hard to
heritage.
rebuild their home, to a freaking villain who has no royal connection whatsoever, by the way, if that even matters. But he absolutely shirks his responsibility.
So,
And in this trailer, what does he do? He is running around to all the
it
other
looks so
god
stupid.
pantheons, having a good old time, while he
Dude,
leaves this villain to rebuild New Asgard. Right?
man,
So
I watched I watched a third of the trailer and turned it off because it looked shit.
And it
Because as
looks
soon as it started playing Guns N'
horrible.
Roses, like I'm out.
It looked horrible. The whole fucking movie's on a green screen, but maybe one scene in that trailer.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of damn green screens. I can't stand to
Oh, man,
look at them
yeah.
anymore. It's ugly. It never works ever. It always by this time, but
It
after this movie
ages
comes out,
so bad.
the very next year it'll already be hideous. Go back
Yeah,
and watch Endgame
exactly.
and Infinity War. They look terrible because they're all fucking green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the
Yes,
prequels.
yes.
Look at the Star Wars prequels. They look
Jesus
terrible
fucking-
because they're all pre-screen or all green screen.
Yeah,
Stop
see,
it, Hollywood.
yes. This
Stop
is why
being
we
so
like
damn cheap.
old school, man. Thing, Aliens, shit like that with proper fucking prosthetics and
The
real
reason those
fucking
movies
effects.
last forever is because
Yeah, exactly.
they have real sets.
Right.
Yeah,
practical
man,
effects.
CGI just died instantly.
Well, you know the thing. We got to the point with CG being so expensive that practical effects are actually a cheaper way to go.
I bet it
Well,
is.
but they're dickheads and they don't care.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a
no,
big money laundering
they're
scheme.
lazy. Yeah.
Well,
honest
I mean,
about it.
I'm 100% on Fundera's side on this one. I mean, we may fall out of a few things, but this one, fucking, I'm on
I
his
just
side on
wish
this
they'd
one.
kill Thor at this point. I don't want to watch his
Yeah.
name be besmirched anymore.
It's a
just
shame
let the
because he's a
bitch
good
take
actor
over.
as well.
Just he's perfect for the character if they
He
just
is.
make him be Thor.
Yeah.
Just be the guy, be him. That trailer.
Sheldon,
I watched
that
it
was
twice, and I was
stylistic,
like,
dude.
Oh, yeah, but
and then I just went when I watched it that second time. I was in my oh boy, I was fired up.
Yeah.
I was fired up.
Yeah. No, it looks horrible. And of course, we haven't even mentioned Lady Thor, which we don't need to. Keep in mind that Christian Bale is playing Gore the Godslayer. That's the big baddie in this. And that's what it's going to go. But the thing is, how do you tell that story arc in one movie? You
don't.
don't.
That's what they do now, don't
How do
you
you
know?
tell Ragnarok in one movie? You don't. That's how. That's the answer to that question.
Now
You have to
that
rush
could
him
be
to
a
the
That's
Disney
what
Plus
anime is
series
for.
right there.
Oh my
Gore the
God.
Guard Butcher. That could be a Disney Plus series. But no, we're going to get in
That's
one,
what they were doing
10-minute scene.
female Avengers. Isn't that what they were doing? Just pushing it to the female Avengers. Oh, they're not doing
Oh no,
that
that's
now.
what they're doing. Yeah, they're still doing it. DC, we're going to
I
get
thought
to
they
a minute
realized
where
bullshit
Marvel
was a
hasn't
fake.
had its come to God moment, come to Jesus moment.
But
I agree,
but
Dave.
you look at this.
What?
You
Sorry.
I was saying, you look at this fucking crap and you go, who's the actual hero in this story? Because Thor's acting like a freaking
Pussy.
child. I mean, not even a pussy. He's just acting like a child. Out here, your realm, the people you have that you was basically destined to rule over are in a serious state of flux because everything was destroyed in Infinity War.
Yep.
And you should be, taking your proper role, but you chucked your responsibility to an unlikable fucking character in Tessa Thompson's version of Valkyrie. And look, whoever came up with that idea should be fired immediately. Because one, Tessa Thompson is a crap actress. And two, that for one, she's not even fulfilling the role of the Valkyrie.
No, and and she's a villain on top of it. Yeah. But do keep in
Yeah.
mind, you also had the
And
gay moment with Star-Lord. Don't forget that. Got to remember the gay moment because Star-Lord isn't gaying up at it whatsoever. But Thor, he really kind of he's I don't know what's the young people's word for getting a boner.
Getting a boner.
I would say it's the same. Is it
Getting a
not?
boner. He's getting a boner over the Star-Lord. There you go. Some
Oh,
things I
fucking
don't
movie,
See,
change.
man.
that, right,
I
this is the
knew
thing,
this
right?
movie was gonna
Because
put my fucking blood pressure off the chart, but I didn't know it was gonna be this bad.
It
That
is
you're
bad.
gonna
trailer
watch
was
it, yeah.
abomination.
What are you gonna do when you watch it? My God, man, you're gonna
Oh.
die.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. I might actually die if I watch this.
And-
Of rage. I might have a rage heart attack.
Look at this little thing right here. You see this right here? With this Waiki Takakiki's character, Rock Guy. You do realize this right here? That's Beta Ray Bill, dude. That's what they're doing. That's a Beta Ray Bill reference right there with the
They're gonna
belt and stuff.
fuck
I'm
over
telling
Beta
you.
Ray Bill.
I'm telling you.
Oh,
That's what they're
that'll-
doing. Look at it.
I might turn terrorist. Chester, you're pushing me over the edge here. Listen, Beta Ray Bill, I've said this and I mean it. He is the best written character in Marvel history because he has everything going against him and everybody still loves him. He is their
Yep.
best work.
Yep.
And these fucking hacks don't need to even get near him because they're not going to do him right and it's just going to be a damn running gag about how goofy he looks. I
Yeah.
guarantee it.
Sure. But no, seriously, look at what they're doing with the Rock dude. I can't remember his name because I don't give a shit. But the Rock
Korg.
dude here.
Korg, was it Korg?
Korg, okay. Well, take a look at him and tell me that's not a Beta Ray Bill reference, dude.
It is.
Oh, I don't know. But
Because keep in
didn't
mind,
notice
Beta
that
Ray
in the trailer.
Bill
That was
was a
huge.
little bit of a reference to the mythological Thor's goats, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was definitely in there. Those goats that you could, well, anyway, I won't get into that. But yeah, no, it's, dude.
It's makes me sad because Thor. I mean, I'm not a big comic fan, but I like the idea of Thor and the whole the whole Norse mythology stuff. And they basically just made him a pussy in the last movie, and now it seems like they're just continuing the thing.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw that, Alan. I saw that. But that's just another reference. They're referencing it, which means they're not going to give it to us. And then the Lady Thor thing with Natalie Portman, because this article says it and other people have said it. Hemsworth wants to go on and do other things, so you might well be getting Natalie Portman Thor movie all on her own.
Do you blame him? Do you blame him
For
really?
not standing up and tell him to fuck off? Yes, I do.
No. To move on to other things, to do something
No,
a
I
bit
don't
more
blame him
interesting
for
than just
that.
big comic book movies. I mean, I'd want to do this because he's a good actor. He could do some good shit.
I think he doesn't. I think he's not a comic book reader. I just don't think he knows anything about comics.
Yeah, he's probably
I
not.
think that's probably why he didn't.
Then again, though, he was in that shit Ghostbusters movie, wasn't he? Thinking about it.
Yeah,
Now
no,
think
he
about
does
it.
whatever makes money, and that's why he gets work.
He is doing
I take it
a
back.
Hulk Hogan movie. The biopic for Hulk. He's playing Hulk Hogan. That could be.
Oh
interesting.
shit! Really?
Yeah.
That sounds good. Is Hulk Hogan in it? I want to know.
Oh, I would
know
imagine
that's
at some
Man,
point.
I loved the old school Hulk Hogan movies back in the day, like Thunder in Paradise and shit like that.
Yeah.
I love that shit, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they were goofy, weird B movies for sure.
What was that one with Christopher? Oh yeah, sorry.
But the whole thing,
Suburban Commando. That's it.
the thing that really frustrates me with the Valkyrie and the Lady Thor and stuff like that is obviously it's agenda. That's why they did it, right? But
Yeah.
you already have Lady Thor. She's already there. She
That's right.
exists. Her name
me hear
is
it.
Sif, and
Your
the
damn right her name, Sif.
and
Your
the
damn right
actress-
her name is.
Right, and the actress they chose to play her did it well. And what
Yes.
happened to her? Where'd they burn her out for?
They fucked her
So is
off.
this not a comic
She's just
book thing,
gone.
though?
Like
Does
she
this
never
not
even
happen?
happened.
It does. It's a comic book character. Well, it's a
I just wondering
mythological
because
character.
I like Natalie Portman. I think she's a great actress. It just seems weird move.
Sif will never. Sif's like Storm. She's just one of those characters that Marvel only still exists just to shit on because
It's
they
weird.
refuse to do anything cool with her. So,
Yeah.
like, if you were gonna do a chick Thor, it should have been Sif. That would have made way more sense. Way more sense.
It would have.
If for some reason.
And Sif has had plenty of her own standalone comics. It's not like she's just some side character. And the
Yeah.
actress they chose in the original Thor, I liked her. I thought she was a
Great.
good choice. She was pretty, and she could act, and she was strong. I just don't know why she disappeared. Now I understand why they gave us Jane Foster. I mean, she is part of the comic book Thor story. I get it.
Yep.
But come back to Sif, man. The comics did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he should. That's his wife. That should be his.
It
That
is
should
his
be his
wife,
wife. Yeah, and I see no good reason why she shouldn't be his wife because, I mean, she can go with him, right? She can stand up to him a little bit. She's a powerful woman, is my
She
point.
is.
And he needs a powerful woman. He doesn't need this bitch Foster. Oh, I can't stand Jane Foster, and I can't stand her in the comics. I can't stand her in the movie. She's oh god.
Well,
Oh,
it shows you something went on with that because if he's going to, shirk his responsibilities and turn Asgard, the rebuilding of Asgard, over to someone else, they're the only choice left alive is Sif.
Yep.
But no, he gives it to this obscure villainous Valkyrie, which I don't even know if they give her actual name in the movie. They just call her Valkyrie, but she's not her. That's not her name. She is a Valkyrie, right?
right, right.
Which that's not a problem, but she's a villain, dude. She should have been defeated and killed at the end of that movie. That is the story arc they should have had. But they suck. The Thor movies suck, dude, and this one's just going to continue to suck. That trailer's bad. I dare you to watch it. I dare you.
Oh,
I
don't know
watched
if I went
half
to
of
that
it and I
October.
went, nope. So,
It's
don't
bad,
watch
dude.
it.
It's really
Don't
bad.
watch it.
But
There's some better movies coming else.
I don't want the aneurysm to continue, so we will move on.
Yeah.
Image blah. Image
See?
Comics
Aneurysm.
founder Eric Larson says the original sin at Marvel and DC was making every character straight and white. Argues against changing established characters as a fix. So he's arguing. Well, I'm confused, Eric. What do you want here?
All right.
He's arguing against changing established characters as a fix. I
Yeah,
agree. Don't do that.
I'll lay out what he wants. Yes, Lesbo Lickington, you're right, Alan. But no, we know Eric Larson has lost his damn mind over the decades. Too many drugs. LSD will do that to you. But what he's basically saying here is, stop changing the characters and just make new ones. What are you doing?
Yes. I don't get that either. I don't get that. Why?
That's what
I mean,
Stan Lee said that.
everybody
He said
else
that
who makes
exactly.
comics make their own thing.
Yeah.
One of the last statements he made on any of this stuff was he's like, "Don't change the characters. I'll make you new ones right now." He was like, old as hell. He's like, "I'll make you new ones right now. Just don't change them. Why do you got to change them?"
Dude, he had, I'm sure, an entire filing cabinet of rooms full
Yeah.
of characters he had created. I
Just never
guarantee it.
touched them. Just
Yeah.
never touched them.
But of course, Larson's right. Now his contention is that you should make new characters and get rid of these stupid old white men. That's his contention. But he says, why are you changing them? It's stupid. And of course, he's right in that way. But here's the thing that no one wants to talk about or mention when it comes to this. Way, 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 way back in the old 20s, when comic books were really starting to roar along, you had the radio was just absolutely dominating the entertainment life of everybody in America. The Shadow was killing it, and all those kind of characters. And then comic books started becoming a real thing. Then they continued on, and they had a little bit of a drop, and then they came back after the war, and then they came back hard in the 60s, particularly with the Marvel carrying it into the future, yada, yada, yada. Here's the thing, though, and here's the important point. Who were they writing for? Who were their customers? White people.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
The white people were the ones spending money on it, and the white people were the ones who were making it. Of course, they were making things that they knew, and they were making things for their customers. Of course they
That's right.
were. And here's the thing that irritates the shit out of me. Stan Lee, who gets so much bullshit from these dickheads, he was the one that came and said, you know what? We really need to start updating comic books to what the world really looks like. We need to bring in more diverse characters. Stan Lee's the dude who fucking did that. Stan. Right? And with Marvel comic books, they've been doing that from the beginning. But all this bitching about straight white men, they were the ones spending the money. Of course they were making it for them. It's asinine to say anything otherwise.
Well, it was also to that point when comic books started, America was a white country. It was like 96%
Well, it
white or
still
something like
is.
that. And it's not that much, but it is still majority. And obviously, that's changed. But so make new characters. I agree with the second part. I don't agree with the first part to say it was a sin. Like, what are you talking about? It wasn't a sin at all. It was marketing. Why would they go out and make a bunch of Chinese characters in a white country? That doesn't even make sense.
Well,
It doesn't even make sense.
It's irritating that Larson would say that, seeing as Stan Lee's the one who was pushing for that. Stan was the one pushing for that. I mean, God damn it pisses me off, dude.
They fucked him over though, didn't they? Let's be fair.
They did, yeah.
The amount of people who want to dance on Stan Lee's grave in the comics industry without having the balls to actually do it disgusts me. Because they do things like say things like this, And maybe they're not thinking about it, but they should think about it. They should think about what they say before they fucking say it. Um, because yeah, that's what you're doing. Whether you want to admit it or not, you're kind of pissing on Stan's grave right now. You're kind of saying that Stan Lee doesn't deserve the credit for being the pioneer in this regard, and he was a pioneer in this regard. And speaking of Black Panther, hello, that's where that came from. He wouldn't exist at all if it wasn't for for old Stanny boy. So I just don't understand. I've never understood this argument. Especially, you could say it in other media, sure, but in comic books, nah, not in my lifetime. It's never been a problem in my lifetime. Probably never been a problem in Chester's lifetime.
Mhm.
Like I just don't. I've never seen an actual argument here ever
Yeah,
because
yeah.
every form of person you could think of has been in a comic book. Every single one.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
Larson is preaching here, and he's not wrong. He's 100% right. I know he's coming from an idea where he wants to have brand new characters and to kind of leave the old ones behind. But everything he's saying here is 100% correct. He's saying the way you're doing this is stupid. You're pissing off the fans of the characters, so you're losing money there. And then it's not going to be successful. So the people who might like your new change, you're losing them too. You're just pissing everyone off all across the board, and you're failing. And of course, he's 100% right. Make new characters, push your new characters. You have a medium now outside of the comic book, the Disney Plus and your movies to push anything you want. These average Americans don't know who Captain Marvel is. They don't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy. They have no fucking clue. And look what James Gunn did with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I know he's a pervert. I know he is. Go watch The Peacemaker if you have any questions about how much of a pervert that asshole is. But he took something that nobody knew and wasn't really popular in the comics. Let's be fair, and turned it into something fun. That
Dude,
is
I'd never heard of it
exactly
until that first
that's
movie.
right,
Never heard of it,
and
and it
that's
was great. I
exactly what
enjoyed
they
it.
should be doing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just annoys me to no end because it's an argument they keep having as if they're making some kind of great point. And there's certain areas where they might have a point, but they don't in comic books. They just don't. And if you want to say they do, I just think you're being dishonest. I think people who make this argument in earnest are just either lying to themselves or they're being disingenuous because it's just not in the last 40 years especially. It's just not. It's simply untrue.
Yeah.
Period. End of. This idea that there hasn't been enough representation in comic books, that's ridiculous. That's utterly
Yeah. Not since
ridiculous.
the
Go
60s.
read anything from the fucking 80s. Anything. Just pick up a book. One of the major two. I guarantee you'll find non-white people all over it. Guarantee it.
Yep. Yep. No, and that's what Stan Lee did. That was his thing, and he
Yep.
did it successfully. But I don't know. I just put this up because I thought it was an interesting conversation, and Eric Larson is actually speaking logically for about 5 seconds. Because this dude has lost his damn mind. I remember when the Image walkout happened. And I was deep in the comics at that time. I picked up all the new stuff, and his Savage Dragon was awesome. I loved it. I read a lot of it. But have you read a Savage Dragon recently?
Mm-mm.
That thing has gone way deep, pervert, hippie, Charles Manson direction, dude.
Weird.
That's a
Yeah,
whole bunch of different directions.
yeah, I know. That's my point.
Pick one. That's what I say. Pick
Grimlock's
one.
awfully
Go
quiet
pervert or
down
go
there.
Manson.
I don't know.
I feel he's plotting something down there. He's too quiet.
No, Grimlock. Would you like to represent the
Grimlock's plotting
Urbanites?
something.
Well, I actually got into a little argument with Larson the day he posted that shit. And I got the same arguments over and over, the same arguments from the same group. It was kind of funny laughing at every time like somebody threw the same points at me. I would just go look at it. Oh, look, pronouns in the bio. That wasn't predictable at all. Um, it's a stupid argument. First of all, making every character straight and white. I'm tired of seeing that argument because it's nonsense. It's not true. Um, Marvel's boom happened in the 60s, and whether people like it or not, it was those white characters that did it. So, and this idea that black people didn't love those characters because no black kids ever picked up a Spider-Man book until Miles Morales came along.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're
That's
not
what they
wrong.
make it sound like, and it's complete bullshit. Like rappers hadn't been making reference to Tony Stark long before
Right.
the Iron Man movie.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. The no, first of all, the idea and for Eric Larson to say that, I'm like, well, where the fuck are your interesting black characters? You know, when you're not writing these weird sex fantasies you apparently have in your Savage Dragon book, where the fuck are your interesting black characters? Where the hell are
Right.
your interesting Latino or Asian characters since you're so fucking concerned about the damn representation? Why aren't you putting your money where your mouth is? And you have creative freedom over at Image Comics, and you don't have to worry about them taking your characters. So where are your characters, Mr.
Well,
Larson? Since you got so fucking much to say
his
on
is a
this,
green dinosaur, so technically.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
representing the
So
green
he gets to have his dinosaur sex fantasies, yet he's over here. Man, I hate when people do that. It's that typical white liberal bullshit that I can't
It
fucking
is.
stand.
It is.
Where
Yeah.
you're over there wagging your finger, virtual signaling on Twitter because there's no fucking consequence. Well,
Right.
dude, you're in. He is one of the few people on comics Twitter who's in a position to do anything about it. He ain't doing shit. So as far as I'm concerned, you can shut the fuck up too. They have, and as for Marvel and DC, they have characters. They don't do nothing with them. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me to make sense of the shit that they do. They would rather race and gender swap a character that's only going to alienate fans rather than take a character they have that's, you know, could use a new coat of paint and some new stories and do something with it.
Maybe.
I
Or
mean,
something new. Yeah. Well,
they.
Grimlock, coming out of the 80s, I had a whole bunch of friends around me that came from many different colors of people, although I wouldn't really say they were anything other than American. But whatever, they did have different shades on them. Yeah, the black dudes' houses, I'll describe what they look like because they're kind of universal. You walk in the living room, because it's usually an apartment, and on the wall in black velvet, there's Bruce Lee. Yeah.
That's right.
Then on the other wall, there's a Lamborghini with a half-naked white girl draped over it. Hmm.
I love this room already.
Yeah, yeah. And then on the other
It sounds
side is
great.
Spider-Man on a poster,
Oh,
right?
I want to
Uh,
be in
You
this
and
ruined
room.
then
it.
Why
there's
am
a
I not in this room?
there's a TV, and we sit down and play Madden football all night. So
You
yeah,
son of a bitch. I'm
yeah,
in.
yeah. So yeah, no. It didn't matter what color you are. And this is the thing these days, they want to separate everything into this identity politics and
It's
the
still
racial
segregation
division.
is weird.
It is because when I was
It's
young,
weird.
there were all colors of people, but we never thought about it because we're just Americans.
Yeah, no one gave a shit in this country either.
Yeah,
It's recently they're trying to separate everybody
they
off.
are. They are.
And it's weird. It's like going back to World War II or before. You know, it's fucking stupid.
And it wasn't even like
Oh,
that
it makes me-
before World War II either. It
No,
was
no, no. It's like no one gives a shit. Everyone's
no.
like, oh, you're this, you're that. No one cares. They're just a person, and
That's
you
true.
chat to them.
And I am going to say
And no
something
one's ever cared.
sacrilegious here. I will. It is. I know it will offend many of you. I much prefer Bruce Lee in Black Velvet over Elvis Presley.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm on you because Bruce Lee is more of a legend.
Listen,
Yeah, no.
Although I
take
do have
Bruce
Elvis
Lee-
sunglasses.
I will take Bruce Lee's absolutely shredded ass,
Mhm.
just shredded to the nines in ridiculous shape over the soy boy that is Elvis Presley. Get out of here
Oh
with
my
Elvis
God!
Presley.
Oh God! Yeah.
Little bitch ass.
Oh no,
Yeah.
dude! It depends which Elvis
Out
you're
here.
talking about, like classic Elvis or like fucked up
No,
Elvis. I
Bruce Lee
suppose.
fuck him up every day of the week. Get out of here.
Oh yeah,
That's
of course
true.
he would. It's Bruce Lee. He'd fuck anybody up.
Yeah.
How about Bruce Lee and Elvis's sunglasses?
He wouldn't fuck up.
Oh, there
He
you go.
gnarly.
wouldn't fuck up the man, the myth, the legend that is Chuck Norris, though.
That's true.
That
Well,
wouldn't
I mean, he did fuck Chuck Norris up though.
in a movie.
Based on
Yeah. Well, yeah, and but that's not really fair comparison there, Thundera, because Chuck Norris does have extra fists under his beard.
That's
he
true.
has a chin. Yeah, his chin's
His
on the
chin
chin is a
beard.
Packing a
fist.
chin
We all
beard.
know that.
Or, yeah. That's
It's
true.
unfair.
That's
I
actually.
mean, we can all talk about this. I mean, we had a whole conversation about Steven Seagal the other night.
Well,
And he's a fucking gnarly martial artist from back in the day. All of them were.
he
Chuck
was.
Norris, Steven Seagal, Bruce Lee. They were the shit back in the day.
They were.
Well,
And Steve,
the difference with Chuck is Chuck was a world champion in actual competitive martial arts.
yes,
Yeah, but
was
so
badass.
was Steven Seagal.
Yeah, no, Steven
Yeah,
Skull
but
was a real deal. He was. I know people love
Yeah, he
shitting on
was.
him
Yeah,
because he's such a dickhead and he's such a fake
yeah, he's
lying
a
ass.
weirdo now.
I get it.
Back
But
then,
back then, he was the real deal. He is
I'm
an
not saying
actual
he
red
wasn't.
I'm just
master
saying,
here in
look,
Japan, dude. He's a real deal.
compared
No,
to
God, yeah,
Chuck,
he could
he
fuck
would get his
people up.
ass rolled. Young Chuck versus young Seagal, Chuck would destroy him. It wouldn't even be a fight.
I don't know. I'd like to see that fight back because if you watch actual
money on
footage,
it. I would put money on it.
I
Chuck
would
was
love
a
to see. I would put money to watch that shit, man. That'd be great.
Well,
It could happen. They're both still alive.
Well,
It won't be as good though.
really old.
I think Chuck Norris also is a soldier for a very long
Yeah.
time, so he gets an edge in that anyway. But anyway,
It was-
moving on away
yeah,
from
yeah.
this, I agree with you, Mr. Larson. I didn't think I'd be saying that anytime soon. Yeah, moving on.
New report claims Warner Brothers Discovery to make huge changes to DC Comics wants to revitalize Superman on the big screen. Now, I haven't read this article.
Oh,
Will I like that term revitalize, or is it going to be let's urbanize, let's make him into some black guy?
No. This, of course, is the shakeup going in Warner Brothers with the new boss from Discovery. What's his name here? David Zaslav. And this is a rumor break from Mikey Sutton. Now, Mikey Sutton, if you don't know who he is, he's an ugly son of a bitch, but he's one of the best entertainment journalists ever. You don't see him much or hardly ever because he's really an ugly son of a bitch, and he's creepy. However, he's really good at his job, and he's been doing it for decades. So when he gives out a scoop, it's a scoop. It's a real deal. And this is what Mikey is saying. He's saying that we know there's a lot of shakeups going over there, but basically what they want to do is this. They want to take the TV series that they want to improve and make better, and the movies, and they want to make them one thing. So they don't want to have a separation between TV and movies like they have done. They want to make it interactionable. Therefore, Disney
the live
Plus
action
esque.
stuff.
Yes. They really don't understand how you can waste Superman when he's one of your most important characters, and he needs to be done right. So this guy over there loves Superman, and he wants to see real Superman. So that's a
Good.
plus,
So
right?
re-employ Henry Cavill, and then we're good.
Yeah, that would be nice. But the idea that they want to kind of have the no discernment between the TV and the movie is an interesting
I
statement.
like it. It's
Also,
It's an interesting
other than
idea.
having this cohesion, they also want to do little standalone things, because it seems like this guy here, what's his name again? I just forgot. David Zaslav. He really loved the Joker movie, and he
so
thinks
I.
that
Oh, it was
occasionally,
good.
every now and then, you should have that kind of thing too. And
agree.
and here's the most important part of this article that you guys need to hear. He thinks that DC Comics is wasting their second tier roster. There
I
are
agree.
so many things that could be done, especially in the TV. What they want to do is this. They want to have the TV and the movies directly connected. However, they want the TV stuff to be more second, third stringers. And then having that is interacting with the top stringers in the movies. That's
I
what
love
they
it.
want to do.
Man,
So
that's a good idea.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, with the characters they're about, especially DC, some of the DC stuff, that's a good idea, definitely. But the thing is, they need to get the right people involved, because the amount, like, DC just go through people, and if someone don't work, they'll like fire them and get somebody else. It's like, I mean, I can go on about DC. I mean, I've been DC.
I'm going to
fan
tell you
more
right
than
now,
I've been, but
if they make
I'll
another
let
Superman
Pondera take
movie,
it.
if they make another Superman movie and he don't have his damn trunks on, I'm not watching it.
If it's not Henry Cavill, I'm not fucking watching it. He's the best Superman that
I
they've ever
would
had.
prefer that, but the trunks are
do
that
Christopher
important to
Reeve.
me because it's just one of those things they changed for no good reason. And when you make changes
Oh,
for
the
no good
outfit.
reason, you'll change anything. You'll make any change at
Okay,
all. You'll put out a subpar product, which is exactly what has happened to
so you want
Superman.
his pants on the outside, is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I want his little shorts. I want his
Okay.
little red shorts. If you don't have them, I'm
Okay,
interested.
so I can live with that. I can live with that. So I understood when they did the black suit with the whole Superman death thing, because I think that's in the comic anyway. I don't know because I don't read comics, but I think that happened. But I get it. You know, I'm cool. Give him his little red trunks. I don't get it,
That
but
is,
let him wear speedos on the outside.
yeah,
Fair, fine.
that's Jim Lee's fault. Yep.
Speedos on the outside, whatever. Spandex. It's a weird thing. Superheroes' outfits are weird, so let them
Well,
wear
there's a
whatever they
reason
want.
he has that. One because then
Is
you
it?
don't see his bulge really, and two, it's
I
because
thought
his
it more like
outfit is a
accentuates it.
no. His outfit is a callback to old strongman outfits. And that's why
Okay,
he wears
okay.
that outfit with the because that's why they wore them, right? To kind of cover up their junk so it didn't dangle there while they were lifting weights. Um, and it's just to me,
Too much
Superman,
imagery.
as silly as the little trunks are, he should wear the little trunks. It just he doesn't look dressed unless he's got them on to me. That's just a pet peeve of mine. I've always hated when they take his trunks off him. I like his iconic suit. You can make little alterations here or there, like the size of the S or whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, I can't argue with you on that. I mean, I'm not a massive
Overall,
fan, but I think you're right.
Superman's the kind of character that is so iconic that even a small, mostly insignificant change is not insignificant. You
I have
have
a
to do
question for
enough.
you though. Do you think the same about Batman? Should he keep the speedo as
No,
well?
no. And the
Good,
reason I don't
good,
about
good.
Batman
I
is
agree. I'm glad we agree on that. Good.
because Batman 1 has always changed his suits up, like a lot, not just little
Also,
alterations
Batman's
here and there.
terrifying, and Superman
Yeah.
isn't
And
really a
Batman,
terrifying
there's a
character.
practical reason. I honestly think Batman should always wear some kind of armor. Not like full on
Yeah,
crazy armor,
yeah,
but he should have armor
but
to
more
like
like
glove
Kevlar
and
and
stuff.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've always thought that
I
looked better on
agree.
him.
Definitely. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I can never see him. I mean, if they did a new
Right there. Give
Superman
me
movie
that
and he always
Superman right
keep his
there. Give
trunks,
me that one
I'd be
right
like,
there.
he's got his trunks on. But you know what I'd like
In
to
fact,
see, which I've
in
never
fact,
seen? Why does Luthor never come into the movies? Like, with the whole full power armor and all that shit.
The
well,
modern
I
Is
don't
ones,
that
know.
yeah.
it? That's
Well, because
is in all the animated movies and stuff like that, and all that stuff. I mean, I
well,
watch all the animated DC
the
movies; they're amazing, all the old
the
ones. But
reason why is because the Hollywood now prefers manlets, soy boys over actual men, and
is that why they don't want Cavill to do it because he's too manly?
I guarantee you they hate Henry Cavill. He's a
They do.
normal,
Oh.
handsome-looking, classic Hollywood
He's just yeah,
guy. He loves Warhammer. He's a dude, and I guarantee you
he
they
is.
hate him
Yes,
too.
he's the guy's guy.
Yeah, he
The
is.
people who wrote that series, that Superman animated series, the one that picture was from,
Mm,
get them, have them come write the movie,
hmm
please. Please, for God's
Oh
sakes,
God,
please.
man, yeah.
Like, there's people out there who know how to write this idea that everybody has. It's so hard to write from. No, it isn't. I've seen hundreds of different people now throughout these 37 years I've been on the planet do it properly.
Yeah,
Some have done it way better than others,
dude.
but still
How
done
many
it well.
years did that series run? Any story
A
out of it?
while.
Any
Yeah.
story out of it? Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not as complicated as they like to pretend. Superman, I think the world needs a good Superman movie. It would really be a cultural victory, I think. Because Superman is kind of the superhero. Right? You've had 10 years now, over 10 years of this superhero dominance at the box office. And yeah, there've been a couple Superman movies, but those weren't really Superman movies. Like, come on, that wasn't
No,
Superman. That's not what Superman's supposed to feel like. I'm not
no.
supposed to walk out of a Superman movie conflicted.
And
I'm supposed to
frustrated
be
now.
happy
No,
and cheerful and
which
like,
is a
hell
shame
yeah.
because Cavill is a great Superman.
Oh, he's great. He's
Yeah.
unbelievable. He's next level. He's as good. He's in the league, or at least he could be with the right movie, as Chris himself. I honestly believe that. I think
Yeah,
he
no,
he
I
has
agree.
all of it for it. And if they do revitalize Superman, Henry needs to be the Superman. I don't think there's anybody who could reasonably make an argument against it, other than the fact he does have short arms. But I'll deal with the short arms because everything else is perfect.
Yeah, but I mean that scene in Justice League where he's kicking the shit out of the rest of the league, epic.
Oh man, and the scene at the end when he's beating the shit out of Steppenwolf, I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah.
Give me
So
that.
they can do it right. They just don't seem to know how. But anyway, it looks like with this Slav here that's now in charge. God, I can't remember his name. Zaslav, I think. Yeah, David Zaslav. So we got another foreigner. God. But anyway, it sounds like a good idea. Hopefully, it materializes because you're right, sir. They do need to
One
start
thing
doing
about
things right.
Superman, even though Schneider screwed it all up, but one thing I will say, Superman is such a worldwide character that if a foreigner was going to work on a superhero and do it well, it would be him. I think,
Yeah,
because he's just beloved everywhere. Everybody knows. You go anywhere that has a freaking electricity, and they know who Superman is, and they
yeah.
probably admire him. That movie you were talking about, that Indian movie, I can't remember the name of it off the top.
Oh,
Oh
I
Something
yeah,
remember
Brown.
that
that
one.
strange one. Yeah, but that was great fun, dude.
Yeah. Well,
Dude,
one
they've
of the
done
things
some
they
great
talk
movies.
about is Superman, right? They have he looks at Superman and Batman, I think a Spider-Man comic book or whatever.
Yeah.
It's everybody knows this character. This character is ubiquitous to the human fucking race at this point, and we all kind of understand what he's supposed to be, and Hollywood just refuses to give him to us, and they have for a long time. And it blows my mind how they keep getting them wrong, but they
Then
have
what's your favorite
for
Superman movie then? Out of all the movies
the
that
first
they've ever
one,
been,
Christopher
the very
Reeve.
first,
like Christopher
first
Reeve, like
yeah,
original.
Yeah.
yeah.
With
I can see why.
with a few minor changes, Man of Steel could have been great.
Yes, like his damn trunks. I'm
Well,
serious.
more
I'm
more
serious.
than that, just
Back to the trunks.
the
Damn
pet,
them speedos.
the petty nature of Superman.
Especially
His
steal from people. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Papa Kent was not done right by Kevin Costner at all. There
I,
was
I
a few
get
things.
where you're going with that, but I do also get where they were trying to go with that because they was trying to go like he's a teen, he's angsty, didn't know where he's going,
Yeah,
and
but
they were going
that's
to lead him to
not
being the hero. But the
Superman.
thing is, yeah,
No,
but I
Superman's
don't
not
read
like
the
that.
comics, so to most I'm speaking for the majority, right? So I guess I mean, I didn't think it was the best movie ever, and I didn't
Yeah.
understand why he killed the guy at the end
Well,
because I've seen the originals. He doesn't kill people, but
I think one of the issues, one of the conflicts here, Rabbit, is you're
it's
not
still a
an
good
American.
movie.
Well, no, you're not an American. You're
No, I'm 100% English.
well, yes, but let me explain what I mean by that. Now,
Okay, carry on.
I
I want to
will.
know this.
Let me
This is
explain.
interesting.
If we were talking about Batman or Spider-Man or something, this wouldn't matter.
Mhm,
It doesn't come into play.
mhm.
Superman is a special character for the Americans.
Ah,
Thundera is
okay.
correct. He is worldwide. Everyone knows who he is. True. But in
Yeah.
America, he's more than just a comic book character. He is an icon of what America desires to be. You see.
Yes.
Okay.
The
And
man of
he became that over the time with the original Reeves character and stuff, and going to the White House and
Mhm.
shaking hands with the president. He was used as an icon to for Americans to, we should do the right thing. We should help people.
Okay.
We should be the guys in the white hat, and that is why Superman always does the right thing. He never compromises, and that is
I'd
how you
never
make a
thought about
good.
it like that. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
and the way you make a good Superman story is very, very simple. He can do anything he wants. Of course, he can destroy cities, but Superman finds a way not to do that.
That's right.
Superman is often
Mhm.
basically cowing himself and restraining himself constantly. One of the
Yes.
best Superman comments ever made was in the animated series when he's
Yep.
fighting Darkseid. He says very simply, you know, I walk through life constantly having to hold back on everything I do because everything's made out of cardboard from my point of view. I'm constantly having to hold back. I'm constantly have to think about everything I do, but not with you. Do I, buddy? No, because you can take it. And he just
Yeah.
goes at him and just starts absolutely putting 100% on him. That I didn't quote that correctly, but that's the essence of
Okay.
what
And
he
I get the
said,
idea. Yeah.
and it was a beautiful moment. So for an American, at least the Americans that were born, before the 21st century, I guess, Superman is an iconic thing of
Okay.
purity and uncompromised righteousness, and
Okay.
therefore you can't do that. What Zack Snyder did in that movie, you
Right.
can't
Okay.
take
Cool. Okay.
Superman and and make him just common
So
any other hero. You can't do that because he's more
So
than
the
that.
reason we like it is because in England we grew up in comics with Judge Dredd.
Sure, and I get
That's
that.
what I grew up
I
with.
understand that.
We grew up with that kind of shit. We didn't grow up with Superman.
Yeah.
So yeah. So no, I get it. I mean, I'd never thought about it like that before. So this is probably why I like the Zack Snyder stuff, because I like the dark and the violent and all that
Yeah.
shit. Because okay, that's cool, man.
That's
I've
why I
never
said.
actually
That's why you don't
ever thought about that
hire a
before.
goddamn German to do Superman.
Yeah, I get it.
You know who you hire?
If you did
You know,
it,
in all honesty,
I'd probably enjoy it too. I
the
guess.
guy you hire is the guy who writes My Hero Academia.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
Yes, do that. Because I love that fucking series, man.
All
So
Might
good.
is the best representation of Superman we have had in 30 years, probably. I'm not even. He's unbelievable.
It is cool.
that book.
It is cool.
Yeah, it
But
is.
you see,
Have you
Rabbit,
watched it all? Are you up to date on that? Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I just never thought about it in that respect
Sure.
before.
Because if you took
There's an
Spider-Man,
all-American hero, right? It's
Well,
like I
sure.
thought Captain America was your hero in all that.
No, he's not.
No,
And
that's
if you took Captain America and you did something darker with him, the comic book people would be like, "That's weird," but it wouldn't be as bothersome.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's Howl in the chat. Robin Hood cough.
Yeah.
Robin Hood, he's a good guy, but he's not afraid to shoot some people in the face with his bow and arrow.
No, and that's fine. But he's much more of a Batman character, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it's nicer than Batman. Well, I don't know. It was back in the fucking Dark Ages, so yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think it's good news. It looks like we might be having some positive change over at DC. We'll see. But
Interesting.
it looks interesting. However, I do want to make an announcement, and I'm sure this is going to be off, and no one's going to give a shit. However, Warhammer, I'm a fan.
I just applied for a job at Warhammer, so I'm
Cool.
interested.
Oh no, Warhammer's great. Now I play Warhammer when I was young. I don't do it anymore, especially over here. I don't know. I have anybody to play with, but I've always loved Warhammer. I've always read the books. I love the lore. I mean, this is one of the most encompassing lore and cosmologies ever created. Now, understand
Man,
that's
I
a
should have got
big.
you as my reference.
Well, sure, but that's a big statement I just made. But it is
Yeah, it
true.
was.
There are
It's insane.
hundreds of books.
It literally makes it a daunting task to try and make like a fantasy book or something, because then you're like, well, Warhammer exists and they probably already did it.
Mm.
Whatever you're thinking of, they probably got it already in some form.
Yeah, because they have millions of years of history laid out in that world, and it's deep, dude.
It's weird. That's just down the road from me.
Yeah, you should. That'd be a fun job, dude. But here's the thing. I don't know how many of you guys like Warhammer or not. They certainly have comic books. Here's one, right? So you can. So it's related. I'm not off topic. Thank you. But here, there was news recently that made me giddy. Can you imagine me giddy?
Oh, giddy. Yeah, I can, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Probably playing the saxophone, having a bit of a dance.
Yeah, a little dance. Yeah, a little bit of the clogging there. But here's the thing, dude. We're in the 9th edition
Ooh.
now. They're back.
Interesting.
They're back. The squats are back, dude. I am going to lose money here recently. I'm going to be definitely spending money because I love the squats. Squats are what dwarves are in the 40K universe, and they've been going a long time, but they're back. They're coming back, and look at it. Look at the glory. It's a whole book. A codex is coming out, as well as an entire army, and we're not talking like a 300-point army here. We're talking thousands of point armies are going to come out over the next few years. We're getting the squats, baby. And look at the first little model they're showing off here. Oh, look at it. Look at it.
I need this job. I might be drawing some of your shit you're going to be buying.
Maybe, dude. That actually, you'd be perfect for them in that role. Yeah, dude. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. They got my money.
So, does that mean you're going to be painting a shit ton of miniatures soon?
I do paint miniatures. That's one of the only artistic things
Well,
I do.
I've never seen them. You never share your camera very often.
I have showed them off, actually. I can do it again.
Yeah, someone mentioned we've not seen them, and I've not seen them, so it must have been a long time ago.
I would say I'm mid-level capable. I'm not top end, but I certainly can make.
I used to do it. I did used to do it. It's relaxing, I find.
It is. Yeah, I enjoy it, and it's not hard once you learn the techniques. You just got to have to learn to mix water with your paint, thin it down. You got to
See,
learn
like,
dry brushing. There's just learning techniques, right?
here's the thing, right, Chester? We could make an artist out of you. Yeah, if you can paint a miniature like that, you can paint skin. You can paint anything.
I don't know, dude. I've
That's
tried.
how painting is.
Yeah, but see,
No,
I
you've tried
have an eye
wrong.
for color, but I can't. My hand and my brain are not connected. Therefore, I can't draw it.
You
See?
don't have to draw. Have you seen me draw? I don't. I can't draw for shit on the computer. I just paint it until it looks right.
Oh, I see your point. But dude, you are an outstanding artist. So stop it. But anyway, I'm excited. Is anyone else excited?
I
I don't
think
know
it's
if they're
cool.
talking about Robin Hood in the chat.
I know they
I
don't
think
care.
it's pretty cool.
I'm on-
Fucking miniatures, dwarves. No one cares.
It's just me and Henry Cavill and our Warhammer all alone.
Now, I would pay money to watch you and Henry Cavill paint miniatures together. I'd pay good money for that.
I would like that. Yeah, that'd be great. You'd
I
play
would-
saxophone in the background.
Yeah, but I
that'd
would
be
give him so
good.
much shit though, because he'd give it back though. If you ever seen
Oh,
Henry,
definitely.
it'd be fun.
Yeah, he always comes across as like one of the guys. Yeah,
I love
definitely.
watching people when he starts talking about like video games or whatever, and he's full on nerd. He don't give a shit.
Yeah, he
And
don't.
he'll
care.
just
Yeah.
he just starts talking about it. He's like, you never played that before? He's like they're the weird one. Like they're not. I love it. I love how he turns it
Yeah,
around.
he's built like a tank. He's like super handsome. He's like, what do you mean you've not played this before?
Yeah, I know.
Well, you know,
but
we're
anyway,
all rich people who don't care about gaming.
they've
Yeah,
changed
it's
the name.
cool,
They're
it's
no
cool.
longer squats. They're going to be the Leagues of Votan. And in the quote here, they say that the squats are what the stupid elves call them, or something like, or the Necromundans call us.
I mean, they're not beardy enough, really, for me. But
Well, this is only one model. We're getting a full army from them. Therefore, you're going to have you'll have this is a standard soldier squad. You're going to have commanders. You'll have bike squads. I'm sure you'll have mech squads. I'm sure within a couple of years we'll have a 3,000 point army. It is standard. You want to have 5.
is
8,
that we
3,000.
or is that you? You'll have a
Oh, I'll
you'll
have
have the army,
but
full repainted.
But no, I mean, because you have the initial 300 army or 500 army boxes, the 800 army run is you see a lot of those, and then of course the
Dude, man,
3,000
it's
point
so
army.
expensive.
Yeah. Now,
My dad used to work there, so I used to get like half price on everything.
oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, I didn't buy anything because I wasn't interested, but I got people half price stuff because the paints. Like you could buy the full paint sets, and like they were so expensive. But again, the half price is like actually worth the money.
You should go Vallejo anyway, not Citadel. Citadel is way too overpriced. But the thing with it is, I know any of you who know Warhammer are saying, "What about the 8,000 and 10,000 point armies?" Yeah, that's rare though, dude. That's rare. I'm sure we will, after a few years, have a 3,000 point
Yeah,
army available to make. And that's what they do because they're coming out with codex as well. Keep that in mind. These are not side minis. These are actually coming with a full codex. Therefore, that you will definitely go to get the various size armies in the book, of course. It's coming soon, so that means it's all done. That means it's all done because they won't drop this until the codex is ready, and it must be ready.
How excited are you, Fundero? How excited are you?
I'm not a huge Warhammer guy. It's just not been a lore I've got into. I do like the Warhammer Total War games. Those are
Yeah.
cool.
He's being a lot nicer than I would have been.
Yeah,
I'm just not super into it. To me, Chester already plays D&D, so there's no level of debauched nerd he can become that it wouldn't
That's
be
true.
already. He's
That's
already
Yeah, I
reached the
can't say,
lowest.
yeah, I did do D&D expos with Chester.
And Warhammer at least requires one, a lot of investment, and two, a little bit of if you paint your own stuff, a little bit of artistic, hobbyism. What's the word? That's not the right word. Hobbying.
No, it's kind of right.
And that I can appreciate. Whereas other forms of nerdery are a little less involved.
Fair.
So I have a little less respect for them. Yeah. But Warhammer, like Chester said, its lore is just it might be the biggest.
It's
there
ridiculous.
I don't know if it is, but it's massive.
It is massive.
It is massive.
It's bigger than BattleTech. I mean, take that.
Yeah.
Is it going to be? Where are you going to put it on your boat, though? I mean,
oh, I won't.
Well, you forget that Chester owns a set type.
I won't.
It's the battle on your yacht's going to end up.
But keep in mind, I have over 1,000 miniatures in this house.
Oh
For
Jesus
sure.
Christ! Man. I
Remember,
used to
though-
have all the old school ones. I sold them. I gave them away to people. In fact, all the lead miniatures I used to have.
Chester has a sex mountain, so he's got
Fair.
plenty of sex.
He has a sex mountain. He has a grave mountain.
Yeah,
he has a yacht. He has
He
a
does sex in
castle.
Malta just out of nowhere, you know.
Yeah, he
I-
bought Malta the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Of the whole place. Of the
I have
whole
I have a painting station.
Oh God.
Yeah. I even
didn't know
have
it was-
fans to draw the aerosol paint away.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure my buddy Henry has it too. Anyway, I'm going to move on, but this was really exciting when this dropped because I always pay attention to what's going on with Games Workshop. And of course, Forge World will get involved with this as they always do.
Man, I still sorry. I just find it weird that you're so obsessed with something that literally is just down the road from me where it started.
Yeah, no, dude, you should definitely be an artist for them. My God, dude.
No. I applied for an illustration job at Games Workshop in Nottingham, which is their headquarters. So we'll see. That was literally last week, though, so it takes a while. But maybe I will be working for them.
You would be good.
But it literally is just down the road. So we'll see.
Although one of the things you'll have to do is be able to create warscapes. For sure.
I can do that. It's easy.
Yeah.
Landscape's easier than drawing characters, to be honest.
But,
not in 2 hours, though. I mean, actual painting, because the stuff we do in 2 hours, I'm struggling with that nowadays. But
right. But I mean, we've been asking for squats to return for decades.
Yeah.
So
Yay.
Finally. Anyway, I'll move on. I know. Shut up, Jess.
This bonus statue won't allow his Warhammer.
Thank you very much, Sheldon.
Marvel's most underrated superheroes. Oh boy.
No, all of them.
Am I going to be angry at this list?
No.
Okay.
The reason I put this up here is because the point that just came out from Mr. Zavlev, is the fact that with DC this is Marvel, but with DC Comics, their second and third tier rosters are being underused, and that's true. And Marvel is the same. There's so many cool characters they could bring out, and the idea of using Disney Plus to introduce these lower tier characters is a good idea. And here are some characters here that would be a good choice. And let's go through and take a look at them. Now, first one here,
like Moon Knight.
Smug twat. That's what that's like.
I told you we shall not talk about that.
Chester, you walked right into it.
I
Walked
know.
right into it.
I know. Now, the first one here with Cypher, I wouldn't really think there's much to do with him. He's more of a side character. His power, if you don't know, he can communicate with anything in any way, in any language. Doesn't matter, right? So he's not a very useful main character, but they have found a use for him in Jonathan Hickman's run with Krakoa, because he can actually communicate with Krakoa directly, and therefore he's very useful now.
He's just a translator.
Yeah. He's the ultimate polyglot.
He's not a superhero. Then he can just speak languages like normal
Well, he's
people.
a mutant. He's one of the X-Men. But yeah, so this character, I'm sure you could put him in somewhere. Why not? I mean, why not? He's not the best choice here. However, Dazzler. Now, Dazzler,
she can kill people with her voice.
well, she's a pop singer. She really likes that, but no, she controls light, and with sound, and her lasers become more powerful when there's sound. She uses sound to power herself up.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. You can make a kind of a girl flick, the typical teeny bopper girl flick drama with her, and she's actually can be quite powerful if you do her right.
Dude, you could manga the shit out of that and make her super overpowered. To be fair,
and they would, unfortunately, but if done right, it could be a fun character, particularly for young girls, right? And I mean, they're trying to cross over, right? So cross over. Where's Dazzler? Why wouldn't you have her? She's perfect for what they're trying to do, right?
I'm not sure about the drawing you're showing, though. It's a bit odd.
Now,
no, okay, carry on.
Frog Thor, maybe in the animated, we'll just go past that real quick here. Jack of Hearts, though. I did like Jack of Hearts when I was young. He is pretty powerful. They could do a lot of stuff with him, but
he's flying his face.
He is. He's powerful, dude. But they could
It's
do
like
something with
side
him.
character.
Maybe. But this right here is really the character we need to talk about.
Ooh.
Longshot. Now, Longshot, his mutant ability is to control probability, right?
Oh damn, that's a fucking superpower. That is. That's
Yeah, it
proper
is.
powerful.
And therefore, he doesn't have the power to blast things with radiation or super strength or anything like that. But with his probability, he could take a little knife and he can throw that knife at the exact perfect part of the machine, and with his control of probability, bring down the entire building around it. Right?
Man, he sounds like he'd be a great villain.
Well, he's not. He's a good guy, and his
But
background with coming out of the Mojoverse, I believe he's a Mojoverse character, isn't he? Pretty sure. Yeah, I'm
Yes.
pretty sure he is. But obviously they'd have to modernize his look and stuff like that. But Longshot could be a really cool character if you did it right. Anybody?
No, I agree. I think you could do something really cool with Longshot.
Yeah.
the power
It'd have to be,
definitely has got a
a
lot of
very
potential.
limited series, I think, with a very tight story, because
Maybe.
he's one of those characters whose abilities are so hard. They're kind of vague. I mean, they're not, but in practice, they're vague. Meaning, there's not,
He
he's not
could be
shooting
very
energy
overpowered
beams
as
or,
well.
yeah, he's not super duper strong or anything like that. He has a very obscure in a way kind of power. So you would need something very specifically tailored to him. So it would have to be very well written and very well done, and probably quite limited for it to work well. I
Maybe.
think.
But you remember they had a movie come out a while back that had Rocket Raccoon in it, called Limitless.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Whatever that actor's name is. And they had a TV series that came out as well, which wasn't as good. But that was a really good movie. If you haven't seen Limitless, go watch that. That's a fun movie. You could do something similar with Longshot.
Yeah. That would actually probably that could work. Sure.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. And of course he'd never be a main character, but it'd be a nice little, you can make a little 8-part series run on it, right? Which is what they seem to like to do. So do that. Longshot would be a great one. I think he's the best one on the list. Khazar. I think you can make maybe a fun little series, but I mean, I don't know. Are
It's
people
just the
into
guy
jungle
in,
stuff? It's Tarzan.
there's the guy in shorts, yeah.
I don't know if those things are really popular these days, but whatever.
I feel like it could be, it depending, I
It
guess. What
depends
the
on how
fuck
you
is
did
that
it.
frog thing?
This is a character I know.
Dude,
A certain X-Men fan probably loved Dupe. I can't stand Dupe, so we'll move on
what
from
the
that.
fuck is it?
However, here is one
That's
right
cool.
here. Now, Man
Man
Thing
Thing.
is actually older than Swamp Thing. Keep this
Yep.
in mind. I
Are
know
they
a
the
lot.
same idea?
Yep, yep.
Okay.
And obviously Marvel stole it.
Okay.
But
That sounds about right.
now Swamp Thing,
Oh, Man Thing actually came out first.
Man Thing. That's what I just said. Yeah, Man Thing is older. Now Swamp Thing
He
is a
said
mega
he meant Man Thing
powerful
first.
thing when they connected him to the green and all that, right?
Yeah.
Man Thing is not, but Man Thing is, well, he's murderous. You could do a really good horror run with Man Thing. You
Yep.
could do something
I like the
really
idea.
interesting. That,
You know about this? Did you watch the latest animated thing that came out with about Constantine? It was like a 25-minute episode about him getting trapped in his mind and then getting murdered over and over again by demons.
no, it
Did you
sounds
watch
good
that?
though. Where was that on?
It was based after the last animated movie when he did the Flashpoint.
Oh
thing.
yeah,
Let me have a look.
yeah.
It's called Constantine: The House of Mystery. It came out literally the other day.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. I do like
Have
Constantine
a look,
stuff.
right? It's literally a 25-minute episode, and it follows on from the Dark Side DC movies.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
whole
Well,
like definition. It's like the sequel to that, where what happens to Constantine after the Flashpoint.
right.
So it
Well,
just made me think the horror thing. It was really good.
and it was interesting that they focused that entire animated movie on the perspective of Constantine. That was interesting.
I love Constantine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's cool. But anyway, Man Thing is of course Marvel's character. But you could do some pretty cool stuff with Man Thing. This is a character that certainly should be used. I don't know that they will, because Swamp Thing hit bigger, and it's people just make the comment, oh, just copy a Swamp Thing. So we might not never see it, but you could do some cool things with Man Thing. But here you go. Now, this is a Great Lakes Avengers, or the West Coast Avengers, or Alpha Flight, or Beta Flight,
What the fuck is that thing in the background?
well, it's like a Saurian type character, but excuse me,
It looks
not
like a woke thing. I don't know what to
not
say.
necessarily the Great Lakes Avengers themselves, but one of those other side teams. Now that they've established the Avengers, why don't we get to Avengers Academy and start putting? Why wouldn't you make a show called Avengers Academy, and you could start introducing the fact that they're putting Avenger teams in other major cities around the world? That would be interesting. You know what else it would be? It'd be diverse.
It could be good. The Umbrella Academy is more fun to me, but
Well, do it like that. Well, the Avenger
they
Academy
could do.
wouldn't
But
be. It'd be
that's
Tony
to a
Stark being
duel. That's the
Marvel.
thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, the Marvel stuff has to be like PG-13, right? It has to be like kid friendly.
Well, not necessarily. Hellstrom was put on their
Yeah,
Stars
that was
or
good.
Hulu.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, that
And
was really good.
you know, and
But then they
that's
cancelled
R.
it.
Yeah,
I thought
well,
they cancelled it.
to be fair, they kind of screwed it up a little bit, but I mean, it
I
was.
really enjoyed that, dude. That was
I
a
think
good
it should have been
series.
given a chance. I agree. But there is a comic book character, of course, Son of Satan, that they decided, well, we can't do it over here on Disney Plus because can't be PG-13, so they
It's
can do
Disney
more
here.
adult stuff, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They just don't do it often enough, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm glad you saw Hellstrom. Actually, I thought I was the only person that ever saw that. I mentioned it before, and no one ever heard of it.
Well, I mean, they almost wanted to sideline our main character a little bit, but they didn't, so I'm happy about that.
No, it was good.
Yeah, overall, I think it wasn't bad. I think they made a few errors, but because it's too 90s, aughts, dreary drama stuff.
I get it. Yeah, I guess. I kind of like that. I love the demon that just opens his stomach and just eats things.
Yeah, that was the cool part of it,
so
right?
good.
There was some
And
cool stuff.
the mother that was possessed that first half, I really enjoyed all that. It was very Exorcist. It was very good.
It was, but also if they had any balls whatsoever, as soon as that baby was born, they would have killed it.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
no, yeah, hands down, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
But
But so they made some mistakes,
It's-
but
yeah,
I think
well,
it could have been cool. They should have given it. But that's another problem we see today.
it wasn't
Rabbit.
bad, but it could have been better, is what you're
Right.
saying. I get it, yeah.
But they don't give things time to breathe anymore. I mean, back in the day,
God, no.
If you started a new show, you're guaranteed 3 seasons, right?
Dude, like when they did that, what was it fucking called? The Mark Miller series, the superhero. There was all the past, and then the superheroes. What was it called?
Jupiter Legacy.
Yeah, that right. That season, right? That first season, I really fucking enjoyed it. It's a bit
So
up and
did I.
down budget wise, but it was really fucking good. And it got cancelled the day it got released. It's like, what the fuck's that all about?
Well, too many white people, I guess. But
It was so good, man. The cast was great. It was so good. That pissed me off so much. That did.
Yeah, but I mean, something like the Great Lakes Adventures could be cool. Any opinion on that, Thundera?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Especially being in the Great Lakes area,
Mhm.
could be pretty cool. Especially because you could do. There's some pretty cool cities around here. You could do interesting things in, and a lot of like old folk legends and folklore you could play with. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind it.
Another thing they didn't put in here that they could do a lot with is Marvel Noir. That would be
Yes.
fun too.
That's the one they should be leaning on right now, I think.
Well, it's not Marvel Black, right? So what's that?
This is Darkhawk. And Darkhawk would be a absolutely awesome character because you killed off Tony Stark. Fair enough.
Looks
All
like a
right.
manga character a bit.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But he did obviously come out in response to Silverhawks, I would say. However, Tony Stark's dead, right? So you need another power armor type of guy. Why not Darkhawk? You could do some cool
He's not
things
as
with this
cool.
character. He is.
He might
though.
be in the comics. I don't know. I don't know the story, but from an aesthetic thing, he doesn't look as cool. I think that's probably why. If he didn't have the wings, maybe, or if the wings weren't his arms and they were just wings on his back, he'd look cooler. But like I say, I don't know the stories. You do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
I
just
like
going from a
Darkhawk.
normal person. So, I like his head.
You got to say something, Grimlock?
Yeah, I believe they just recently rebooted Darkhawk. It's not the original kid who's got it. The amulet has apparently been passed,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, but that's
they
one of
have
these
brought him
characters
back.
you can do that
I'm
though.
just wondering. I'm just wondering who the hell made this list.
It is a weird list, but for me, it was more the idea of the list that I thought was interesting, because and in response to this other article we read, because I agree, there are a lot of second and third tier characters that could get some love, particularly on the series end. You don't, and because you don't have to have 5 seasons of whatever, you could do one shots, little eight episode series telling a
All
story.
right.
You can do that.
But did you watch that new series that came out,
Well,
Shut
Moonlight or
up!
whatever?
Shut
Right,
up!
that looked like
Shut,
fucking Power Rangers to me.
Thundero, deal with it.
Chester is still
well,
processing.
the problem
They look
is
like a
that
bag of shit to me. I just
It
skipped
is
it.
horrible, dude. Yeah.
they don't freaking they have these characters. They don't do anything with them because nowadays, like you said, they don't give things a chance anymore. It's if it's
Mm.
not an
Yeah.
immediate hit, well, it's a failure, and it's not the case. Sometimes you know things take a while to warm up. It depends on
Oh
who's the
yeah.
creative team, and there's a lot of characters that they can do stuff with. They're just lazy. That's how I look at it. They're just
I
lazy.
feel like they also cancel stuff like when Marvel took over, like the Punisher, right? A lot of people might not like the Punisher series, but I feel like it was starting to hit its stride, and the next season could have been so fucking Punisher, but it's never going to happen because they cancelled it. Because you know what I
Well,
mean?
because of the
There's a lot
stupid
of
shit
things
they
they
did. The first season was awesome, and I was like, "Oh God, it's going to be cool." And then all of a sudden, he's in love. Have you ever read a fucking Punisher comic book, you
Well,
dickheads?
what I'm saying is though, right? Yeah, I get what you're saying. I do, but the last episode, the way it ended him with his trench coat, his fucking thing with machine guns,
Yeah.
gunning everybody down. It could have gone. The next season could have been proper Punisher,
Yeah, no, I agree.
but
But
we'll
they
never
should
ever
have.
know. He was good Punisher, so
Season 2 should have started with the last scene of season 2, with him with
yeah,
that trench
no,
coat on,
I
blasting the shit out of
agree.
people.
I 100% agree. But there was good scenes in the second season. There was some
Oh,
good
sure,
stuff.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Definitely, but as things go, I feel like Marvel don't have a clue what they want to do with any of their shit at all.
No, and it's unfortunate because, like for instance, aside from this article, imagine they took an idea, like Heroes for Hire, right? Luke
Mhm.
Cage and Iron Fist, Danny Rand. But what if they just kind of took some other random characters and just threw it in, and you have, because they did that at a time with Heroes for Hire. They didn't call it that, but just imagine they kind of created this low tier hero group that are basically mercenaries, and they're struggling, and kind of like what they do with Peacekeeper, but in a more hero way, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Imagine they did some show like that, made it funny, and it did what they did with Peacemaker, but not as perverted and twisted as frickin' James Gunn's brain is. Say
Yeah.
we well no, because he
Get
had free
Ryan
reign
Reynolds
there.
involved.
Yeah, yeah, something like that, and have it kind of this
Yeah,
fun thing where these guys can barely pay the rent, and they get shit jobs, and they're bitching about the big heroes getting all the money or something like that. It'd be fun,
it
dude.
reminds me. What was that old movie? The Heroes movie. What was that called? It
Mystery
reminds me of the
Men,
old
Mystery
movie.
Men.
Yeah, Mystery Man. That's it. It reminds me of Mystery Man.
Yeah, no,
That's what
it
it
would be
reminds me of.
fun
That
though.
would be a great scene. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I would love the shit out of that. That would be great.
But they can't
That would be good.
get behind their dreary drama and their angsty, and then of course the agenda on top of it.
Oh, they've got to hit all the targets that
Yeah,
no
I
one
know,
gives a
it's
shit about.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the point, the reason I put this article up is because I just think there's so much more they could be doing, but they refuse because they have their idea, and they have it laced out with their agenda, and they're not really thinking. The problem is we don't have creatives anymore. Hardly, at least
Mm,
not in the
yeah.
big AAA budget stuff. We don't, and that's really, really, really
Well, it's all
unfortunate.
very stale. I mean, it's not just that. I mean, all movies have been very stale for years, but the thing is, they're all sticking to the same. like I don't know. I could talk about movies and their faults for hours, so I suppose we'll just move along.
We will, because our other panelists don't care.
But
Anyway,
we can say hi to Gary, because Gary Shipman's in
hi,
the audience.
Gary.
So.
Say hi to Gary, everybody. Go ahead, Thundero.
Ukraine refugee comic with Gru, Chu, Grendel, Astro City, and more.
Yeah, you've got a little low, by the way.
Well, I
Yeah,
can't
you
hear.
have actually.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't care. If people think it's loud, they can go fuck themselves. How about that?
Oh God.
I'm done fiddling with
Thanks
it.
a lot, Thundero. That's really nice.
All right.
But
now,
now here's the thing with this right here, and I'm curious what you guys think about it. Basically, you get a bunch of these comic book artists who are coming together to raise money to send to help in Ukraine. Okay, fine.
it's good if it's legitimate.
But I'm just, I don't know. Uh, yeah. First of all, are they going to generate a lot of money? And of course, you have
No.
Why do
Astro
they all
City
have
people
glasses?
because they're
Sorry.
human.
So it's just the first thing I saw about every single one of those have glasses on.
Right. So they got to give an exclusive Astro City, which is cool. I love Astro City. And we got a whole bunch. We got a lot of artists here that are going to create stuff. Even Usagi Yojimbo guy, and this list is
Oh,
not
awesome.
American Flag as well. Gru, Chu, which I absolutely love. Grendel, and there's a lot more that's not even listed here. So you have a lot of artists that coming together. They're going to do these auctions and try to raise money to send to Ukraine.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think they're doing it for that, or do you think they're only like 10% doing it for that, 90% doing it for themselves to make them look bigger? I'm curious.
That's the
I'm
question.
always curious about this kind of thing
That's the
because
question.
that really winds me up.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, they can do whatever they want in regards to this. I don't have any problem with people trying to help. The people of Ukraine. I guess. I just think I don't think it's going to have a big impact, but
No, God,
whatever.
no.
It's
You're
their
right.
time, their energy, I guess.
Yeah, it's not,
Most
but
of these guys aren't like, they're not huge names or anything.
well, Alex
So,
Ross is kind of a big name.
oh, I didn't see Alex in there, but yeah, they're just not like I don't think you're going to see a huge amount of money generate. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll be happy to be wrong. I just don't see you're going to think you're going to see huge amounts of money generated for this.
But do you
Right.
think they're doing it for the Ukraine alone, though? Or do you think they're doing it
no.
because they see an
Probably.
opportunity?
Probably.
I
think
think they're doing
it's
it because it's an opportunity there.
mostly for Ukraine, but there's obviously a little self-serving
Right. And
bit
there
to
will
it
be
too.
virtual signaling in here. Just look at some of the people involved, right?
Oh yeah.
But overall, I think great, no problem. But I just thought it was an interesting little article I popped up here.
Yeah, it's
Why
interesting,
not?
definitely.
I would. That the only thing I would say is because a lot of the attention with this Ukraine conflict is going toward Kiev. And the simple
Yeah,
fact of the matter is, the people of the Donbass are the ones who really you should be helping, and Poland. Because
Yeah.
I
hmm
know refugees have gone into many countries, but Poland has stepped up in a big way. And I don't hear anyone praising Poland, and they should. Because
No, we
Poland,
talk about Poland.
yeah,
This country
good.
talks about Poland and stuff.
Because it's cool what they're doing, man. Good for Poland, dude. So if you want to raise money, send it to Poland. Send it to the Donbass. Those are the places that need help, not Kiev,
Yeah.
right? Because Kiev's getting plenty of attention and it's undeserved. Now, I'm not going to get into a conversation about the conflict here, but I'm just telling you, if you want to raise money, great, but send it to where it's actually going to be helpful. The people of Donbass definitely need some help, and
Yeah, the
Poland
people in the
specifically, right?
I mean,
So
there's the whole scheme at the minute in this country with people sponsoring people and bringing people over and housing them in their
sure,
houses and stuff.
why not?
People getting money to like hold it is a whole thing. I don't know, but I don't want to talk about it either because there's a lot of stuff I agree with and a lot of stuff I think, what the fuck are you on about? So that's
Yeah,
probably
no,
best to move on.
of course, the politic involved is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the whole thing about it.
However, I'm just saying that this unfortunately, my point I'm making is this particular group, Operation USA, they're going to send this to Kiev. This is
Why
not going to
is that
go
guy's head in that guy's crotch? I'm sorry.
because he's a
I
giant in
couldn't
the
unsee
background.
that.
Yeah, I see
I
what
know,
you're
I
saying.
just couldn't unsee it.
Yeah,
Oh, that was a bad design choice.
yeah. But anyway,
I'm sorry. I took away from the seriousness.
well, no. I think it's a good idea. I just don't think the money's going to go really where it would be most useful.
It
Because
never does, though,
never
does it?
does.
Let's be
True.
honest, never does.
True. Anyway, I'll move on from it. Let's see here. Now this I thought was interesting.
Oh, dude, do you know the best thing about the new season? Robert England's in it. That's all I care about.
Stranger Things creator teased Vecna, season 4's mysterious new villain.
Now,
I
Stranger
won't say
Things,
mysterious,
every
it's in the trailer.
season, the big bad is named after a D&D villain. That's just
Yeah,
interesting for me. I'm a D&D guy.
yeah, because
Rabbit and
they
I.
Demogorgon
Yeah,
originally,
right.
didn't they?
Right. But here's the thing. They had a mind flare as well, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Second
Here's the
season.
thing.
Yeah.
I watched season 1 and it was
Yeah.
and I didn't watch anymore.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
You know. And it sounds like it kind of went downhill. However, this right here, I guess, is supposed to be Vecna. You know, they got my attention by mentioning Vecna because Vecna is the undead lord. Basically, he's a lich god in D&D, and he's amazingly powerful. There's for all of you who know, there's you know, magical artifacts and relics with his name on them, and he's actually a major part of the mythology of D&D. So it's a interesting. It catches my interest, but I don't know what the hell I'm looking at though. That doesn't look like Vecna.
Not at
So
all. Actually,
yeah.
I'm looking at Vecna right now. Not even close.
Well, that's a good
Main,
point. Maybe I should show it. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, let me show what Vecna really looks like.
am I back? Sorry, my internet decided to fuck off.
Here we go. There's a good picture of Vecna.
Yeah,
Have I missed
that's
something?
nothing like what they're showing in that
Yeah, this is
Stranger Thing.
Vecna. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
an undead god basically. He's very, very powerful. He took over the Red Wizards. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole story of it, but if you're a D&D'er, you know who Vecna is. So I was like, huh, interesting. I don't know if it's worth me going back and checking it out, but it is interesting that they do have the D&D stuff in there to try to catch my attention. But I'm assuming no one here really cares about Stranger Things, I guess.
No, I like Stranger Things. Sorry, my internet broke. I am
No, I
here,
gave up
right?
on it a while
You
You're not
are.
ignoring me. Sorry, my internet broke. No, I like Stranger Things. I just think the first season, the third season were the best. Second one in between, but this one, because Robert England's in it, will be the best because Robert England's in it.
That's true. That is fair. That's another good reason to watch it.
He's only voice acting, I think, but I think he's going to be epic. I hope he's voice acting this villain. To be fair,
Well, you know, I would assume. But
I hope so.
Thunder, any opinion on this?
I gave up on that show about halfway through the second season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
I
first
know. I
season-
see. Like, skip it and go
first
to the
season
third
was
season.
okay. First season was okay. The second season was just meh. And from what I understand, the third season was shit. So
The first season was we've seen the first season. The second season was like a rehash. The third season was more like a comedy.
yeah,
But
weird.
it was very 80s. So like, I suppose it depends on your nostalgia aspect. You know what I mean? It played on a lot of the nostalgia for the old 80s movies, I guess. I suppose it depends on what you like.
that.
See, I'm weird about that stuff. I don't have any nostalgia for 80s movies. I have
What?
nostalgia for certain 80s aesthetics, but not I don't give a shit about the movies. And by the way,
Oh, dude, I love
they
80s
never,
movies.
ever do the nostalgia for 80s shit right. Ever.
I have nostalgia for Gwen Stefani's ass. That's what I got.
Well,
That's not 80s though, is it?
Sure, hell yeah, it is.
I'm pretty sure that's 90s. I remember fucking when Gwen Stefani. I mean, that's no doubt. That's
Yeah, whatever.
And
whatever.
back in the day, I
You
100%
get the
know all
joke.
about that.
Yeah.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, okay. Well, no one cares about Stranger Things. All right, fine. Fine. I thought but Vecna caught my eye. That's why I put it
I'm going to say it'll be good because Robert England's in it. That's all I have.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that as well. But all right, I'll move on to my last story here.
The biggest thing
oh
has
no,
been
that
in
was my last
years.
story. Okay. Alrighty. So very nice. Let me come back over the other side real quick. And Yeah, I mean some interesting comic book news today. Not so much jury news, which is good. I like to have stuff like that. No doubt is fine is fine. All right, fine, guys. No doubt is the '90s fine. Nevertheless, there are some interesting things and interesting ideas, and it looks like consistently that we are starting to get some pushback here and there. We're starting to
Yes,
get it. And we mentioned Doctor Who a little bit. Doctor Who's got some serious pushback coming on it. However, I kind of think it's too little too late. I
it
think they
is.
murdered that series, dude.
It took them about 6 years, but they really started murdering it even when Matt was still there.
It's
That
weird
show
hearing
is
Americans talk about
unfortunately
something.
is just very, very dead to me, dead to my wife who loved it.
Yeah, I love Doctor
They
Who.
they just cucked him out for just years and then literally turned him into a woman. I'm like, nah,
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm
yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate because Doctor Who was really, really cool. And Adrian, you're right, as is Thundero. The '80s aesthetic is never really captured quite right. Stranger Things was supposed to be this big homage to the '80s, and I watched season one. I was like, well, you have some references from the '80s, but it's
Yeah.
not
It
really
was
the
more an homage
'80s.
to Stephen King, I thought. It wasn't 80s, more Stephen King.
No, no,
It
that
it
fair
didn't
enough.
feel
Yeah,
like the '80s either. Like
no,
it was wrong. It was off. It was off.
it
They
was
It
missed
off.
the
was
mark.
off.
But the younger people don't know that, so
Yeah.
Um,
That's
uh,
true. That's true.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's the least of the issue. Like I said, season one was fine. It just didn't really catch me to come back. It's not fine, Chester. You say that, yeah, 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 sure, as if I'm wrong, but you're going to agree with me to shut me up. No, Adrian, I actually
Come in here
agree,
and say that.
100%. The Strangers Thing and many other things don't really capture the '80s properly. They don't. You are right,
They try.
Adrian.
They do try. They just do it the wrong way around, I guess.
Everybody's just picking on Chester Knight.
No, I
Just
think
picking on
Adrian
Chester
should come in
Knight.
here and just give him an earful. I like the idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, Adrian. Next week, come in.
Yes,
Give him
fine.
some
You are
shit.
right, Adrian. No doubt is the '90s. I agree with you. I was just trying to be funny, and the first girl's ass that popped into my mind was Gwen Stefani. I do
80s,
apologize
80s wasn't really an
because
ass.
I
I
just
always remember when No
my
Doubt
brain
came out
started with
myself, to be
ass.
fair.
Ass was the beginning of the inception of the idea,
Good.
and I
That's
had to
good.
go from there. And I couldn't think of a good '80s ass. Fuck's sake.
That's good.
I mean, Grimlock, you got to back me up here, brother.
I think Grimlock fell asleep.
I think he did.
Silence. See, he's not backing you
For a
up. He
while.
thinks you're full of shit.
On Gwen Stefani's ass.
She's a cutie, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, in the 90s.
Nah, she
Right.
aged well, dude. She
Yeah, she
aged
did
well.
age well. That's
She's
true.
aged well. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
I like her, but
Grimlock,
ass ain't her motif.
good girl ass of the '80s. Help me out.
90s, 80s, I'm pretty sure she was.
'80s was kind of the era of the pancake ass, so you're
A
not
little
gonna get
bit.
a lot of help from me.
Yeah, you're right. That's the
I
problem.
love it.
Sheldon says, was Cher '80s? Dude, Sheldon, go away. Um, well, then help me out then, Adrian. If Mr. Know everything about the '80s ass, tell me. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, anyway. That was
Vanessa
fun.
Williams, I'll throw that one out there. Vanessa Williams, prime ass.
Yeah, she was pretty. She was pretty. She was stupid as a brick, though. But yeah, she was pretty. Um, It's still dry. I don't know what that means, horror, but I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask. But anyway, I enjoyed today. That was fun conversations, and I do think there are some things that can be done to improve stuff, and all of that. Next week we will return, and I will do another spotlight on a comic book hero. Any suggestions here? Anything you'd like me? Any character you'd like me to talk about?
You know what?
Yeah.
Superman.
Superman. All right, I haven't done
Yeah.
him.
Let's go to the man. The man, the progenitor of superheroes. The granddaddy of them all.
He's not wrong. Yeah, I think that'd be cool myself.
Yeah, that's
You
Um,
got
gotta be
about
like
100 years of lore to dive into with
that's like
soups.
you
gonna be
gotta, yeah, you got
30,
a lot of
40
things.
minutes
Yep. Let's
primer.
do it. Let's do it.
All
I
right,
love
fine.
Superman.
Can
Listen, Superman's beloved, but in the modern age, he doesn't get anywhere near the respect he deserves from the media, especially. And I'm done with it.
Okay.
I mean,
Done
I'm
with it.
not a comic fan like you guys, but even I know more about him than the movie show. So
Yeah, well, I will next week concentrate on Superman's pornography he made. I'll
and his
focus
speedos,
on that.
because he can't not wear the speedos according to Fundero. So
That's right.
Yeah,
You're damn right.
that's damn right.
right. Can I just mention that on Thursday we're doing Black Rhapsody,
Oh,
an
really?
indie comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing indie comic Black Rhapsody next this Thursday on DNQFE.
Oh, that's cool.
It's I don't know. It's about some goth chick. That's all I know. But it's called Black Rhapsody. It's gonna be really good.
It's a great name, dude. What a great name.
Yeah, it looks really good. Pixel Trade stuck us on it, so it's gonna be very interesting, I think.
No, that's cool. I love doing indie stuff. So
Oh
definitely
yeah,
come
yeah,
back
yeah. I
for
think
that.
it's gonna be really good.
That's on Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, of course, we're doing D&D. We're doing ICRPG, but whatever, close enough. So come back if you're interested in that. But other than that, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you to Rabbit and Grimlock as well, and Thundero. And Thundero has his very soy boy Batman here, and take us out.
I'm gonna do this one. I haven't done it in a while. I think it's fitting from some of the conversations I was having today about charity. Charity is not for the weak. Charity is not a show of strength. We do not engage in it for strength. We engage in it for one day we might be weak, or even once we were. Charity is an admission of our own mortality, the humility and fragility of our own lives, realized through a simple act of grace.
Namaste. Later, everybody.